Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This one I recorded months ago, but I never uploaded it, and then I got more games, so this just became outdated. But what we're doing is, I'm just gonna show off all the Nintendo Switch games I have, and I'm just gonna give a mini review of each one, I suppose. They're in alphabetical order, and I basically took screenshots of the full library thing you can view. There's technically 10 rows of 6. So yeah, let's get into it. We got a good mix of indie games. You've got Nintendo games, and you've got other AAA third party stuff. I kind of got a bit of everything here because the Switch is my main console, which I know insane madness. No one does that, right? No, I do it. Yeah, we got 112 operator here, and there's various ones. I know there's 911 operator. I think there's another one. This is the Canadian one. This one just has more content to my limited understanding. I've known these games for a while because YouTubers would cover them years ago, and it always seemed kind of neat with having the multiple choice dialogues to the phone calls you get. I think they were quite interesting. And then, the weeks go by, you get more stuff. I went for a few weeks, I played it for a few hours. I think I had it archived, which means uninstalled. Which I have a 128 gigabyte SD card. That's not actually enough for all the games I have now, but at the same time, because a lot of Switch stuff takes downloads quite quickly, I don't really want another SD card because the only thing really taking it up is very specific third-party AAA games. You can see 2 actually here already. But yeah, I have this one archived. But you can find it on big sales, less than £1. I got my money's worth from it. It's something I can go back to. But it's cool because it's a type of game I've known about for years, and I got to play it, and I was like, yeah, this is alright. It is solid if you get it on sale, which it normally is. Most of the games I get, they're on big sales. So next is AEW Fight Forever, which I've done many videos on. Overall, it's one of my most played games on the Switch. I just get a lot of replay value from wrestling games in general because I make up my own universe stuff. I make my own fun, essentially. And I like this game. It's got possibly my favourite gameplay in a wrestling game. It's up there. It's missing a lot, though. Mainly match types and creation. Create wrestle parts. The other creation stuff's fine, actually. Create a moveset, create an entrance. Create an entrance is better than the 2K ones if you ignore the fact the entrances are incomplete. But yeah, it's something I was going to go back to. The DLC is so overpriced, and I know we're probably getting more. But I like it. I've always worth from it. It's what I expected, because I was very critical of this game before it went to release, and everything I said was basically right. A lot of my concerns turned out to be true. And I got the game because I was well aware of those issues. It did not surprise me. The DLC problems, the failed multiplayer. Although it surprised me how big it failed. The multiplayer, because you can't even find a single other player for the Battle Royale mode. A waste of effort adding that mode, as cool as it was. So yeah, this game is far from perfect, but I enjoy it. It's one game that I really enjoy, but at the same time, I agree with 99% of the criticism it gets, because there's a lot of stuff it should be doing better. I never stick to it though. I honestly I feel like if they did a sequel, you could probably iron out its problems more than just building off this game, honestly, because a lot of the main issues with this one are fundamental problems outside of adding more match types. I think that's one you can actually do in updates. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes for this game. I know it's not going well. It's not going well for that company as a whole, really. So yeah, I've talked enough about this game. Moving on. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. What a great fucking game. I think it's my sixth most played game on the Switch. It's good. It's such a good experience. I mean, particularly when it came out, and that's not really because the game's content got worse. It got more updates. It got a bunch of updates. Yeah, you know, it got its 2.0 update a few years back and DLC, which makes the game feel complete to me. I know a lot of long-term Animal Crossing fans. There's a lot of missing stuff from past games that bothers those, and I get that. I do think this is a complete experience, though. I think it is worth full price. I think you get plenty of hours out of it. I think it's just so good. It's in my it's got to be my top three Nintendo exclusives. Tears of the Kingdom might be taking that spot, but I don't know, because my top three is like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 1. That's probably my favourite game ever. Then it's probably this game. And then it's probably Pokemon Scarlet. Which I'll get to that game because I think it's very overhated and the bugs aren't actually that prominent. But yeah, this game's just... It's just insane. It came out at a perfect time. We had COVID. And I actually have this digitally, which I normally don't get Nintendo exclusive digitally. I have this and like Mario Odyssey digitally. That's because of totally legal CD key I got that got me Odyssey at a much cheaper price. So it's worth it even for the extra storage size. And yeah, it was just very hard to get a physical copy. And it was selling so well. And it's a game that you wouldn't think would do as well as it did. You know, I think it actually benefited from COVID. I don't know if the future updates benefited from it, because I imagine it'd be harder to continue support for the game, but I think they did plenty, I think. But yeah, it was just a very convenient time, because there was lockdown, and you had this game, and that's a vibe. The reason people get COVID-19 nostalgia is because they played Animal Crossing every day, and did fuck all, and it was awesome. It was awesome for like a month. A whole month. Which people seem to downplay that. When they get bored of the game, they kind of drop it for a while. Like, most people are going to be checking this out daily for at least a month. Because that's what I did. Well over a month. And like, yeah, I kind of fell off it. And then it's a game that's kind of tricky to get back into, at least for a long period of time. Because the more you play, the more like it's more tedious daily activities, which is integral part of the game, but the more the charm of that kind of wears off, and the more it just becomes tedious and just a grind, which I think that's just how the game is. I don't really think you can change that about making it not Animal Crossing. I think that's a part of the experience, and there's a good part of the experience for a while, and maybe people still continue to enjoy it, but yeah, I think when people say you got bored of the game, like, I think that's fine. Like I know it has that real time cycle, so there's technically stuff you can get like each season and stuff, and it changes. It's fine to put the game down. This is a single player experience, and you play it daily for at least a month, probably. Like I think that's very good, and a lot of people probably played it for longer. Some maybe not, but yeah. I've got like over 400 hours of it. It's something that I do keep going back to, but I have not stuck with it as long as I did when it launched. I got like a couple days after it launched, April 2nd, 2020, I think. See, I remember when I got the fucking game. I remember the date. And it was just a random purchase. I spent like half an hour kind of my island name and everything. It's nuts. But yeah, it's a fucking magical game. It's very cool. You have a Switch. This is a must buy. Have a Switch, and I normally don't say, "Oh, this is a must buy," but I think this is one for sure. It's just a very special game. But yeah, next we got Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. This is one I got very recently. I'm playing a fucking ton of it. this might be my favorite Assassin's Creed game, and the list of AC games I've actually played is quite long, but also very random. Because I started with Syndicate. I don't even own Syndicate, but I had it from like a game share thing. And I completely sorted out. I didn't get close to 100% yet. But that's still my introduction, and it's an alright game. If I were to go back to it, I think a lot of its flaws would be highlighted more. And its story is meh. But good setting. And then I bought Origins, which is a great game. And then I got Odyssey. Actually, no, I got Black Flag because there was an Xbox One port for Black Flag. I have that. And I didn't get far of it. It didn't really click with me, I don't think. I think Origins clicked me much more than any of the games I was playing before I started to get these Switch ports. Because then I got Odyssey and I played it for an hour and never again. Like, that's 50 quid down the drain. I'd probably try if I get my Xbox working, but my Xbox One working, I'd probably try it again. But it's just not an Assassin's Creed game. It's something different. Yeah, which I like the RPG style of AC games. I think that they make for fundamentally decent single player experiences. However, yeah, it's not true Assassin's Creed. So Switch port, I saw big sales for like the Rebel collection, which I got a few years back. But there's also Assassin's Creed 3, which I've been trying to get for a while. And I finally got it. It goes on sale for like £11, and I think that's worth it. Especially more worth it when I found out that it includes Liberations, which was a PS Vita, was it? Or PSP? One or the other. Vita, I think, comes later, doesn't it? Vita, then. It was PS Vita exclusive. And it seemed to do some pretty creative stuff. I haven't tried it yet, but damn what, I decided to try that game. And then just 3 itself is so good. It is so good. I don't know how it's one of the most hated entries. I really do not understand that. Especially when Black Flag's so beloved. Which, not a knock on Black Flag, I'll get to that. Because I really like Black Flag. But 3 had a big overhaul in the gameplay and stuff. And I think the combat's at its best in terms of options and tools and stuff. There's so much stuff. And it just puts the combat in the Rebel Collection games to shame, because this trilogy, this Colonial America trilogy, it's my favorite trilogy of AC games probably. It's the only one it's the only trilogy I've properly played in full. But yeah, it's very much grasped me. It has. I played AC2 on Xbox 360. I got that last year. I 100% it within like a week. Very good game. The fact that I 100% it so fast is a showing of that. Very good game. It 100% it makes sense why it's such a popular entry. It hasn't really aged much at all. That one's good. That's the only reason I don't have the Ezio trilogy, because I already bought AC2. I might as well seek out the other games of that trilogy on 360. But yeah, at the moment these are the 3 AC games I have on the Switch, and I really do like 3. I don't know if it's just recency bias, because yeah, I only started it now. I played it with friends forever ago, and it always seemed really cool. But yeah, I just really fucking like it. The combat's just very fun. It has so many more enemies as well. The thing with this trilogy's combat is there is no challenge. There is not a sliver of challenge to it at all. I've actually died quite a few times. I think this one's harder than the later games, mainly because there's more enemies and I'm fucking around a bit more with all the weapons. But I have died quite a few times, admittedly. But yeah, it's relatively easy. It does kind of make stuff a bit pointless because being stealthy is a harder thing to do. But if you're intentionally trying to be stealthy with forts and stuff, there's a lot of fun there, even though you don't have to. You can just walk right in, and it works. Assassin's Creed game always have good stealth. except for the RPG games where you literally can't really do stealth that well because enemies are too strong. But yeah, I do enjoy it. I don't much to say with it. I just think as an Assassin's Creed experience, it's very good. Probably has my favourite story. I haven't finished it yet, but Haytham's the best Assassin's Creed character by a landslide. He's such a good character. Connor's underrated himself. I get why people don't like him because he's like more of a stoic character. And you know, he doesn't really have like much of like a charm to him, doesn't have much of a charisma to him than other protagonists. But I think that's part of his actual charm, is that he's just this nice dude. He's just a nice guy. You do the homestead missions, he's just a very chill guy. He's a good dude. Bit of a temper. Can't really blame him. But yeah, I think it's definitely the game of the best villains, to say the least. But because you have that long intro, which I actually got to say again, a game share. I tried it out a while ago and I didn't get past the boat section because I was like, this is boring. My attention span must have sucked with the amount of AC games I was dropping before I got them on Switch. But I playing through the intro this time around, it was well paced, I thought, and I didn't even spend time fucking around, just free roaming. Given there wasn't really anything to do yet with Haytham, you know, I was just fine as him, and fun time. And then you have the missions. There's even like interactive dialogue and stuff with the other Templars, which you can miss, but it tells you some important stuff. Like there's a whole interaction about with Picane, I think, and it's Haytham talking about like his connection to Braddock, and you didn't have that, or you didn't check his like Animus database bio thingy, you would not really care much for that mission where you assassinate him. Sorry, that's a spoiler. Not really though. If you're playing Assassin's Creed game, you know that any of like all these characters are going to get killed because they're your targets. And I don't Assassin's Creed game where you don't kill your target. Yeah, you probably don't care that much if you miss that dialogue. But there's like lots of little cool bits of lore there, and it makes you want to pay attention to stuff like the Animus database, which I haven't given a toss about before this game. But I can read bits of it. Interesting stuff, and it's because of that good intro. That intro made you care about all the villains, really, even the ones that aren't even part of the group. They drop bits of lore to care about them instead of other Assassin's Creed games where you kind of just learn this target for this sequence and you go on to the next. This still has that formula, but you've met these characters before and they're recurring. A lot of them are, at least. Not all. But you know, the main group of Templars that you're with in the intro, that group. It's also interesting because this is a game that kind of really highlights the fact that the Templars aren't just evil, and I think that's more interesting because the Assassin Templar War is not really a right side. There's no right or wrong. There's good and bad people in both organizations. Most stories will depict, you know, the assassins. They're normally the better people. They're normally doing the right thing. But the overall war, the overall point of it, it's kind of just this grey area. Of course, Rogue kind of highlights one of the situations where the Templars are doing the right thing. Because their difference is just simply, you know, Assassins want freedom, Templars want order, and overall they just can't want safety. But yeah, that's the whole thing, and with the whole control thing with the Templars, it makes sense that most of them are probably going to be worse than the Assassins, but yeah, again, it depends. It depends. I think it's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Because a lot of the characters you assassinate in this game, none of them are that bad. Most are, you know, you're not going to feel bad for killing Thomas Hickey. Not really, he's just a hired gun. But like in the other points, and obviously Haytham doesn't really come across as a bad guy at all. Charles Lee does though. And it's very good because Haven's not like the main antagonist. It's fucking Charles Lee, and he's great. So like you have so many good villains, whereas most AC games will have one, if any. So it does really impress me there. I like the maps. Of course, this is before you got the fully open world stuff. You have separate little maps to go to, which doesn't really bother me because they're very vast. You have like your homestead, which is very cool. I like the homestead stuff in this game. You've had other bases in other games, but this is one that feels the most fleshed out. With so many missions and so many characters, and just being its own area for hunting and stuff. Peg leg missions, those are cool. I've only done one, but that's cool. I haven't finished the story yet. I'm on sequence 10, and when they're done with all the side content, there's just so much. And this is one that I'm actually trying 100% straight away. With the Rebel Collection, I just started any percent playthrough, and then I made another save that's 100%, and I haven't 100% either, but I've tried. Yeah, this game is very good. I've noticed glitches, which I don't know if this is version specific or what, but I know stuff like you have to actually, when swapping weapons in the weapon wheel, sometimes you have to highlight, like, because you can like select the type of weapon. It's a tedious but vast and in-depth inventory system where you have access to all your stuff, which I prefer to the limited range you have in 4 and Rogue, even though it's more convenient in those games. Same like a weapon, sometimes it just doesn't show up in your inventory and you have a blank spot. It's kind of a mess. Subtitles, speaker names, also, like, I feel they get more and more inconsistent the more you play. There's just some weird stuff like that, but nothing necessarily game breaking. Assassin's Creed games being buggy, that's just a part of them. But I want to say this one isn't too buggy. The Rebel Collection, meanwhile, of course it follows just the same engine, the same style of Assassin's Creed game, which is my favorite. Yeah, the combat's pretty simple, but I think it's part of the fun. Well, it's not even simple, it's just easy. You have a lot of stuff you can do. Free especially have a lot of tools, a lot of enemies to fuck around with. But it's all easy. But I guess that's part of the joy of just, you just feel like a fucking badass killing people in this game. Very nice. And the Foreign Rogue, they're no different. Black Flag is very good, and I managed to play it. I'm like 97% complete with it. I haven't done anything, but there's a lot to do. It's got more of an open world feel because you can take your ship and go places, which, you know, they introduced naval combat and shit like that in 3, but it was much more fleshed out in this game. This is the one thing it improved upon compared to 3. It's probably got a more interesting map as well, but I do prefer having the big cities. I do prefer that environment. But it's more unique, the map in Black Flag. The story's also very good. The missions themselves not so much, because you have a lot of annoying tailing stuff, which I didn't even mention. Like trying to get full synchronization on 3 is actually very challenging. There's some that had me stuck for quite a few hours. Most notably, the mission where there's these 2 ships, and you've got to get undetected when planting these bombs in both of them, and you've got to go to the center. So to not get detected in such a small space, you basically got to assassinate everyone one by one. It is so hard. So I always think the constant challenging, it can be challenging to challenge yourself and do stuff like get that full synchronization and stuff. So yeah, and the naval combat's always been challenging. You know, I struggle in 3, even though I haven't done much of it yet. But it's much more in depth in 4, and obviously it's much more seamless because you can use the boat, the ship, the jackdaw to go between islands and stuff. It's not just a fast travel thing to a mission. It's just you have open world in the sea now, and I think that's the main improvement. But just the combat in general is better. You have sea shanties. there's a lot of stuff. You have more boat customization. It's very cool. And I really do like the boat stuff. Obviously, you can also board ships and stuff. It's a very good experience. Um, Even though the thing I care about more in these games is just like on the ground and stuff, more than ships. But I mean, I really like strategy, and they focus on naval combat a lot, so I do really like it. For it's, I would say it's best because of Rogue kind of saying. I think it's as most charming just because of the theming where you're a pirate, which Ed was a very good character. This is the best ending to a story. At least when I played, I haven't even got to Freeze ending yet, but yeah, very good ending. The main villain kind of blows ass in this game. He's fine, but yeah, I think it's kind of highlights what I mean by you can have a good story in Assassin's Creed games, but you typically don't have many good villains, if any. And I think 4 is a good example now, because your good characters are the other pirates, and then Edward himself, Adewale, of course. But yeah, it's still an interesting game. It's a very good game. I'm a fan. Rogue itself is fucking underrated. It's really not as bad as people make it out to be. Of course, released alongside Unity, it was basically the game for the last gen peasants at the time. And I really like it. I think its premise is the best of any AC game, playing as a Templar. And, the whole... It's a very intriguing part. You've got Haytham around for a lot of stuff, which is always great. You have, the assassin stuff. And it does what 3 does, where you're on the side of your targets initially. Of course, it's a different context, but I think that formula works because you get to know your targets, the antagonists, which are the assassins this time, which is a very interesting twist. And yeah, I really enjoy this game. I prefer it to Black Flag, honestly, because I think all it does is really build off Black Flag more. Which a lot of people just like. The main point of criticism for this game is that it's Black Flag 2.0. That's not really a bad thing, because Black Flag's great. And then you've got this game as well, where you just got more Black Flag, and I don't mind that. I don't mind naval combat. I don't mind the regular combat. I don't mind exploring, doing all the tedious but still enjoyable to go through side content, which this game has a lot of, and it's a pretty big map. It even brings New York back before Fires, so it's not really a copy paste of 3. It just builds off 3's New York map, which is cool. And it ties to 3 really well, because I played this before 3. And I think it probably helps because it explains a lot with the story with Achilles and stuff. Gives you a pretty established connection to a character like him. So I think it does good at tying into that game, even though it's a rushed story. And that's the problem at the end of the day. It doesn't have enough time, which I get why, because they're making another game simultaneously, and they had a year to do both. So this game has a much shorter story, which makes the missions themselves more fun. There's not really any filler. So the story is very engaging throughout, which I can't say the same for Black Flag, which is infamous for its tailing missions. But yeah, Rogue's story itself could have done a lot more time, I feel. And that's its only real major flaw, is I didn't get enough time to really flesh things out. Shay himself is a very interesting character. I really like it. And if you play 3, you play Rogue, I think in a story per se, you get a lot more appreciation for both. I think playing Rogue beforehand actually helps as well. But yeah, I like this game. Playing as Templar is very cool, even though much doesn't really change. Admittedly, you're still playing like an assassin, you're playing like Connor and Edward. But yeah, I don't mind that it's basically just a lot of reused assets. It makes sense to do that, and at the end of the day, I like those games, so I'm going to like this one. And also, Black Flag pulls a lot from 3 itself, so this is a game that does reuse assets a lot, and understandably so. So it's never been a big issue for me. The Switch port here, apparently you can get some cave paint, which I haven't 100% yet because my 100% save, I was getting through it, and then I just kind of dropped the game. But the apparently you could get some cave paint, which is going to be a concern if you can't, because I can't 100% the game. So I don't know exactly how that is because I haven't looked for them. But they have a bounty hunter system, which has like its own bounty hunter enemies. The bounty hunter ships work fine. The enemies on land do not. They don't spawn at all, which is a shame because they have. It adds a pretty cool and actually challenging enemy type, which we're going to find to fuck around with. But yeah, it's a shame. It doesn't come close like the notoriety system in the old games, which again is why Freeze Kite is even better because it has stuff like that. You're 1A level and it spawns more enemies and stuff. Has more enemy types in general. And more tools, as I've said, which is still my main issue. I wasn't even much of an issue until I played 3, and then I realised, wow, these two games, the Rebel Collection, these two games, they really did just make combat less engaging. I've got ship combat's better. I'd probably say exploration is probably better too. Stealth is about the same, maybe even a bit better. In Rogue and Black Flag, because you have stuff like the Berserk and Sleeper Darts. Those are cool, and those aren't in 3. Also, the assassin contract thing. You can't like summon an ally and assassin or anything. It makes sense not have it for Rogue, but 4 got rid of it. I just never really came back. So 3 is interesting because it's kind of bridging the point of the very older games, the Exo Trilogy and the original game itself, and then also these games, the Rebel Collection, which I think it pulls the best of both worlds for the most part. Ship Command's better in the Rebel Collection for sure. Just like objectively better. It just has more going on. It's just a big improvement. I think that's its biggest improvement. But overall, I like all 3 of these games. I spent too much time rambling on about them. They're cool. I like Assassin's Creed games. These are my favourite. So yeah. Astral Chain. This is another newer game. I got about 5 hours into it. I like it. I guess I like it more than I thought I would. The combat's very engaging. The detective stuff is also engaging, but to a less degree. I'm kind of stuck on one. So that's probably why I'm saying that, just because it bothers me. And I think that might affect pacing, where you have to do that at the start of each mission. But you know, like the introduction is fucking crazy. It's dope as shit. And then I did the next mission, and I'm kind of on the 3rd, I guess, unless introduction doesn't count in level 2, I guess. But the missions are so long. I don't know how many there even are, but it took me like an hour to do the other one, and then you spend like another hour or so back at the HQ. So it's quite interesting in the sense that you go back to this hub world, I guess you could say, and then you go to your next level. But at the same time, each level and each in-between time into mission, it's quite a long time. Maybe that's just me fucking around, but I feel there's a lot there. It follows that traditional old like single player format of just going from level to level, but there's more to it, if that makes sense. So I haven't played too much, but I do enjoy it. I like the characters, like the story. The customization I feel is a bit daft. You select which character you want to be, which I feel is an unnecessary restriction because it just means your protagonist is silent, which whenever your other character is talking, it just doesn't work. It takes you out of it, you know. I know you have other dialogue options, but like there's a bunch of cutscenes and stuff where you're just mute, and characters will even point it out. They are always the silent type. Like what? Why? And then like you're not even a mute character because yeah, you have the dialogue options in side quests and stuff. So that doesn't really gel on me, and also I think it's just because the reason they did that is because you choose which sibling you want to be, which I don't know why you customize any of them. They're a set character with their own lore and their own surname, I do not want to be in charge of the name of the character. And the other sibling, the NPC one, will have a set name. I just went through the default name to chose one that matched the other one best for the girl character, and then I gave her blue hair to match uniform. That's the thing I changed. I think that was a points-based customization, which I appreciate, but I don't see the purpose of having customization. I mean, in terms of identity, that is. I don't see the point of that. And unless it's just like an OC character. No, you have a set bit of lore. You choose the name, but you don't choose the surname. So I don't see the point of trying to personalize the character. Not a big deal at the end of the day, but I think because they tried to do that, it means you had to have two VAs working on the same role of the other sibling. Whereas I think you could have just chose how to play as the boy or the girl. And yeah, you took away the option of choosing which one. But then you could have a character that's not mute. And that would just better the story. But yeah, it's a good game. I like the whole Legion thing. It's very cool. It is good combat. And an interesting game. It's a Nintendo exclusive, but it's not made by Nintendo. It's an interesting one. I know it's not anime. It's not anime, okay? It's cool. Moving on, we have Bullet Beat, which is another indie game, which I got for like 35 pence. This is much more obscure and it's much more basic. It is just, bullet hell game. You shoot the things, you shoot the blocks, and you get points. And it has like a leaderboard system. I'm like top 500, I think, when I last played. I like that. I was like, oh, it's cheap. I like the style of game. I might as well get it. It's got levels and stuff. It's got what you want. It's pretty simple. But yeah, 35 pence. I can't really complain. Celeste. I got like 4 hours into it, which isn't much time for logins, but I feel I've done a lot of the levels. I finished whatever the level after the hotel one is, and it's very engaging. It can be annoying. I have cheated at one section, admittedly. One section I cheated just not understanding what was going on. And I like it. I do like it. I'm glad I have it. But I'm not too big on this sort of platforms. I'm really challenging. Obviously, I like Mario games, but this isn't like necessarily my sort of thing. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I like the story. I find the character relatable, the main character. It's cool. It's a cool game. The music's good. The art style's cute. It's just a very charming game. So yeah, I can't really complain with getting it, but I haven't played it too much. Because there's all the strawberries to get, which are like challenging side things to collect. It's cool. I think there's replay value to the game. If you wanted to. Probably not my sort of thing to replay, but I will eventually come around to finishing all the levels, at least once. Next is Coeur d'Alene. This is a good game. I got like a complete edition. It was like on sale. Not by much, but yeah, it is cheaper than the original one. I don't know what the DLC is. I think it's just like 5 villagers skins. I say villagers, but they're your cult members. It's Animal Crossing, except if you're a cult leader. And it's very funny. It's very funny. You can do some fucked up things in the game. I think it's dark, but in a humorous way. And I guess I just close the art style and the overall tone of the game. It's not trying to be serious. It's not trying to be seriously edgy. But at the same time, you can sacrifice people to this fucking demon guy. So, yeah, very funny. Very funny. It's also kind of a roguelike, which I do not like the roguelike section. I liked it initially, but it just became annoying and tedious to go through. It lasts too long. The combat's slow in its plotting, and it doesn't have much going on with it. It hasn't got much depth. It's just irritating, and clearly wasn't the focus of the game. It's nice that it's there, and the fact you have a roguelike as a side part of the game, that's quite clever, but that's sort of the only thing that's keeping me from advancing the game more. Not because it's necessary too hard. It's just annoying, and I don't want to progress when I've got to get through this tedious section that I don't really care for. Yeah, I don't mind it unless I'm playing for long and I'm doing multiple runs. That's when it gets annoying, which means I can only get through like a few days at a time before putting the game down. Overall, it's a good game. It's a charming game. I'm going about 10 hours into it, I think. I like it. Dex, another indie game. It's like £20, but it goes on sale for like 91 pence, and at that price it's good. £20 too much, but for 91 pence it's a lot. It's a single player game that is story driven and stuff, and I think it's a style that it's not really replayable. I mean, there's different choices and stuff, but nothing that really makes you want to go back. I think they try making it replayable, but I don't think it necessarily worked. But that's not really a problem. If you get it for sale at 91 pence, I got a very good 10-hour campaign experience. It's like some fucking like cyberpunk, sort of setting, and I like it. Again, that's not my sort of thing, but I think it's done well in this game. It was some fucking weird, dark themes, but I think I handled all right. But there is some strange stuff. I do like most of the characters though, and overall it's a very interesting narrative. It's got some cool twists at the end and stuff. The overall ending itself isn't that great. That's satisfying, but also I don't know what else they could really do. There's 3 endings technically. 1, I don't know why it exists, but 2, it depends on your option on the second to last mission. And that mission's very cool, but I got soft locked on that mission actually and had to go from the start. Because it's a choice of 2 actions, and I did not want to do one of them. I'm not going to spoil why, but it pretty fucked up option A. So I went with option B, which so you got like this scientist guy, and I just immediately tied him up. I did not want to listen to what he had to say, and that was a big mistake because turns out he was my only way to get out if I did not do option A. So I did option B, but I did not have the guy ready to get me out of that place. So I was soft locked, and I had to restart the level. So the combat's kind of clunky. It's like this it's 2D, and you have like a gun and stuff. You can block stuff. It's pretty simple. I think it works. I don't think it's too annoying. It makes you try and strategize and stuff. So I think it works. It serves its purpose. It's just nothing great. And also, when you're in the open world stuff outside of levels, you can just run past every enemy. I mean, I get that's sort of thing with all 2D games like that, where you just want to get from A to B. You can just run past everyone. But yeah, I like it. There's a lot of interesting side missions. I didn't do all of them, and even then I still got 10 hours of playtime. I did most, but I didn't do everything. And I think there's still some hidden stuff. There's some stuff that if you do it out of order, you then can't complete it. And when I realised I had missed something and I can't go back to it, that's when I stopped going for 100%. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a good game for what it is. Cool cover as well. I've always been confused by it though, because the protagonist, who's very cool, she has blue hair and Radius is like blonde hair, which I know it's an odd lighting, but there's no way the lighting would make it look that colour if it was only blue. So I guess they changed that at some point. But yeah, moving on. Doom 64. I like it. I've gone through like half the missions, I think. It's something that, like, if I'm bored and I can't think what to play, I'm like, oh, Doom, I'll play Doom. It's the only Doom game I've really played. I know Doom Eternal's actually on Switch, and apparently it's a well-optimized port, although at the cost of a lot of gigabytes, but it makes sense, it's understandable. I got 64 because, you often see all the retro Dooms on sale, and I just chose 64 because that's the one with the most content, so I'm told, allegedly. I don't know how true that is, because again, I'm not a big Doom guy. But I like it. I think the enemies are fun. It's just a fun game. It has a lot of that old game bullshit, which isn't really a fault of this game. It's just how games were at the time, where you don't know what you're doing. I've managed to progress pretty fast through stuff. I haven't really ever gotten truly stumped on stuff, but like you gotta find like a door or whatever, and it's really hard to find sometimes in some levels. Again, it depends on the level. But yeah, I like it. I like it. It's got a good bit of a challenge. But it's fun. It's a fun game. The movement's good. I think it's aged pretty decently. Next we have Fortnite, which one of the 2 free-to-play games I have here. I've played others, but I unlisted them because I don't want to go out to most of them. Like if it's on my dealers thing, then I tried it. I didn't like it. That's how it is. Fortnite, I got like a fucking bipolar disorder with, because I like it and I won't, and that's because the game just changes so drastically, so frequently. That's hard to get truly attached to it. But I'll always go back to this game. I've been playing it since 2017. I've bought a copious amount of V-Bucks, and yeah, I'm riding with this game till the end, I think. Even when I stop playing, I'm going to go back to it. So yeah, I still have it, even though I don't like the current chapter for the most part. I think actually the side, everything outside of Battle Royale is pretty good. Promise Battle Royale is the focus of the game. But yeah, I won't go too in depth in it because it's fucking Fortnite. You know what it is. The opinions of it vary. This isn't the video where I go in depth about my fucking... What was it, 6 years now? 6-year history of Fortnite? God fucking damn, why? Why is it over half a decade? Insane. So yeah, I'm going to move on from Fortnite. So we got the next couple rows. We've got the Game Boy collection, which I honestly have not played much. I appreciate they added another collection to Nintendo Online. I think I fucked around with a few games. I can't remember anything from it. I'm going to move on. Gemini, another indie game that I got for cheap. You know, it's a good trend with these, right? This one's good. It's like not a tower defense. I don't know what you'd call it. I know there's a name for it. So this style of game, this genre. But you have like this diamond in the middle of a map, and you just have to defend it. And you defend it with just yourself and your weapons, and you have like different power-ups and different weapons, and you got like a magic meter and your health. There's a bunch of enemies. It's like this cute, like pixelated art style thing. It's very nice. Runs well. I don't have much complaints of it. It's too hard. I'm on. There's like 5 worlds, if you want to call it that, 5 environments, and there's 5 levels for each. And I'm on the 4th one of the 2nd, the snow area. And every time I go out to this game, I'm like, I'm going to beat it this time. And I never do. I get close. I get to the final wave, and I never finish it. Good game though. Can't complain much. Got a few hours out of it. And it's something that I keep going back to every now and then, just because I'm trying to get to the next area. Next we have Hades. What a fucking game. What a good game. This is... I don't know one of my favourite games I have on the Switch. I really fucking like it. I mean, the art style's great, the music's great. It's a roguelike. The best roguelike I've played, although that list is very short. But it's just very fun, you know, with all the different abilities and all the different power-ups and shit. I haven't played in a while, but I finished the main story. There's a bunch of extra side content now, which is quite impressive for a game of this style, and it will get repetitive, inevitably so, but the point of roguelike is you're doing the same stuff again, but events are so randomized, and your power-ups are so different, and you get like all these rewards that you can get new stuff with, that it keeps it fresh, and also the story's just very good. The voice acting is great too. Just a fantastic game. This is fucking brilliant. Runs well on Switch too. I got no issues with the Switch port that I can think of. So yeah, this is probably like a must-have, I feel. Oh, I look into it first because I feel this genre might not be for everyone. But if it is, then you get it. If you like roguelikes, then you've got to get Hades. I think that's pretty blatant. And it's getting a second game, which is very exciting. So yeah, next we got Hollow Knight, and I like it, but it gets fucking tedious very quickly. It got very annoying when, and like I'm sort of in a soft lock state, which not really, but I'm in a state where I don't want to grind to continue. Where I got into this area, I got like 10 hours of gameplay done. I think it's probably less than that. It's just what the Switch claims I have, which is probably because I had it on pause for a while. But I think it's like a jungle area. I did that. I did a couple of the bosses, I think. It's a fun time. I like exploring stuff. But when you don't know where to go, it gets very tedious very quickly. And I found the next area to continue was completely dark and there's spikes and stuff. I died. And you can like come back down to retrieve your... I forgot what they're called, but it's basically your currency. But then I died again, meaning that I lost all my currency. And you need 1,800 of it to get a lantern, which I assume is what I need to progress through that area. And I can't be asked to do that. And that's when I stopped playing the game, unfortunately. And so that's kind of a sad taste in my mouth, but outside of that, I enjoyed it. It's just, I kind of hit that roadblock, and it just wasn't fun to grind killing enemies just to get some area. It just doesn't feel like a game where you should be grinding through enemies. It's a charming game, good music, good art style and stuff, like Hades, but yeah, this one did not grab me as much. It's something I will go back to, I'm sure. It might be easier to start a new game than trying to do that save, because I'm just pissed off. I'm just pissed off on how it ended. So yeah, moving on. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I like this game. I really enjoy it. I play this in co-op mode, which the co-op is good, although Bandana Waddle can't do much. He has his own attacks, which is neat, but most stuff I, player one, will be doing because of my power up. But it still is fine. It's like, you know, I played multiplayer on ROM for most of it. And for pretty much all of it, actually, outside the tutorial. But once I got to the actual level section, I did most of it with her. And I did 100% stuff. You're trying to, but you miss a lot of stuff. And it's something I plan to go back to at some point. There's like, I know there's like post-story levels, but I think they're just harder version of existing levels, so I don't think it's like brand new levels. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I liked it. I think doing it in 2-player made it more fun than it would be in single player, because I think single player it would be a pretty basic, in chill but basic platformer. I think multiplayer helped it out a ton. And yeah, I really do like it. I was never really interested in Kirby until you got this like 3D game, and I think it was very good. I think it's a very charming game as well. Lego DC Super Villains. I like this game. I admittedly haven't really gotten too far of it. I can't remember the last mission I did, but I've gone like a good few hours into it. I think another 10 hours long. 10 hours I've spent playing the game, and it's one I'll go back to for sure, but yeah, it wasn't really a game where I was like, oh, I gotta keep playing it. It's fine. I got it on a big sale. I got a DLC, which I haven't even played the DLC missions yet, but yeah, I got it for like, it was like, because that game's gone on huge sales, and this is like one of the newer ones. This is considered one of the best Lego games. And I was like, okay, I'll get it. It's only £10 and £3 for the DLC. That is good value. And yeah, I've still got that money's worth, even though I haven't really done too much yet. I do feel that open world is kind of a nothing burger though, because it's truly open world. It's a format. There's no loading areas between stuff and everything. That's really cool. But I'm not finding much side content as to what I'd expect for a map of that size. All I've been finding is like side quests for little characters, which are good, but they're very few and far between. And I don't know if that's because I'm missing something. It probably is. But I was surprised by the lack of side content, if that makes sense. I just think there's plenty of content, obviously. It's a Lego game. Of course there'd be. But yeah, it's kind of strange. I think I might be completely missing something. But yeah, the story's cool as well. I like it. Overall, I like it. It's just I'm not too crazy about it. But I haven't gone far in it. I haven't gone too far in it. It's something I will definitely go back to, though. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I haven't even done a video of this on my channel. I like this game. I really, really do. It is close to perfect. Very close. It's what I think we wanted. Or we just wanted to do the complete saga, but with the new movies. And they did it, and they had DLC for all extra stuff, and I got the DLC. And it's cool. It's cool. The character class is good, guys. A lot more varied purposes. I know it means that there's less unique stuff. As you know, before in Star Wars games, you get more unique character abilities, like Jar Jar's higher jump. This game has some unique stuff, but it's less so because of the class thing. So if you're in the class, you're probably doing the same stuff, or at least similar. You buy different attacks or whatever, but you're still serving the same purpose as anyone else. I don't mind that, though. I still think there's more variety in having them as separate classes anyway. And the roster is stacked. It is huge. It's missing like a few relatively obscure names, and that's about it. I cannot complain with the roster, especially with the DLC. Which I'm surprised it got season 2. I'm surprised, like Savage Press is in the game. That's fucking rad. Obviously, there's just so much side content. I love exploring the different planets and getting the Kyber bricks. I'm nowhere near close to completing it 100%. And I've gone hundreds and hundreds of Kyber bricks. It's like 1,200 a game. I'm on like 500, maybe 400 something. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the game, but it's something again I'm going to go back to because there is so much still to do after like 100 hours playing. There is a ton of content, and I saw people having to go to complain that once they 100% it, there's nothing left to do. No fucking shit. The only thing I get is people wanting enemies in the open world. I think they should have done that, or at least have it as like a one of the cheat options, because I feel like that's something you can fuck around with. The combat's pretty cool for a Lego game as well. You have like combos and shit. Opponents is just, unless you're doing like a specific like mission or whatever, you're not going to come across enemies. You can get some stuff which I intentionally don't complete to have as areas where you can keep fighting enemies. So you can kind of choose it in that way. Obviously you can replay missions as well. And there's like bricks to collect there and stuff. It's a very, very fun experience. It's exactly what I wanted. Again, there's stuff they could have done there, but there's just so much content as is that I can forgive it. I think it's a very, very good game. Definitely my favourite Lego game. And just in general, people complain about like different characters being similar and stuff. I feel Star Wars games are just like that. When I play Lego DC series, I'm surprised at the variety in what characters can do. But, with Star Wars, you are kind of limited because it's not like they have like different superpowers. You have people who don't have powers and probably use a gun, or you have people who have telekinesis. That is Star Wars. That's just how it is. And it works. I really like the game. I love the planets and stuff. I love exploring them. And I thought, I'm getting through it too quickly. I only 100% of one planet. 100% Kashyyyk, and that's a pretty small one. Out of the, 23 planets? Or is it 24? Actually, might be 22. I don't know. One of them counts as I can't remember its name, but the snow planet from episode 9, which for some reason is there. It's an option in the map, but you can't actually land on it, which that's an area that feels incomplete. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I just don't include it if you're not going to have a planet you can go to. like I'm fine with not having it. It's just weird that it's there, but you can't do anything with it. It has a space area, but there's not anything to do in space. So yeah, that's an odd one. But yeah, just a fantastic game. Must have for Star Wars fans. I really like it, and yeah, I think that's about it. For this game. So I'm going to go back to there's just so much content and stuff. It's just very good. Luigi's Mansion 3. This is a great game. It's one of the first few games I got on the Switch. I love Luigi's Mansion. I like the second game a lot. It's very cool. It's a one and done sort of deal. You're not really going to replay it. I know it has 100% stuff like getting all the booze, whatever. I never really bothered with that. I think if I understood how to actually get them, I'd do it. But I honestly didn't, which that's just my fault. But yeah, you have like an overall like hotel rating at the end, which I guess was to make you want to replay it. But yeah, I got that enough. But I think it's fine. It doesn't need to be replayable. I got like between 10 and 15 hours just doing it, playing it over the first few months I got it. And yeah, I haven't really touched it since. It has a multiplayer thing, which I've tried, but it's not that good. I think it's charming. I think it's decent, but it's not that engaging, to me at least. But it's fine. It's fine. I think, it's still a 15-hour experience, right? And you might want to replay it depending on how much you liked it. So I think it's fine. Luigi's Mansion is just very charming, and the theming and music and the story, although it's pretty basic. King Boo is an actual threat, and that's always kind of interesting because he's fucked over Mario 3 times now. Like I remember being a kid, Luigi's Mansion 2, and finding out, that Mario's been captured by King Boo. I was genuinely fucking scared. That was a crazy little reveal. And yeah, I think it's just a very good game. With an actual challenge in some parts. I lost the King Boo a couple of times. And the puzzles can be a bit challenging. I think I've actually needed a guide for this kids puzzle game quite a few times. And puzzle games are my sort of thing, but I think Luigi's Mansion 3 does it pretty well, even though I've got into sections where I've just given up on what the fuck I meant to do. So yeah. Moving on, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Just fantastic. I've gushed about this game enough on the channel. There is so much content, They increased the roster size, they increased the track section, they doubled the track selection, and even before they doubled it, it was still the biggest track selection in the franchise's history. Insane. The best DLC of all time, and I think that DLC elevated the game, solidified it as the greatest Mario Kart game. I don't think we're ever getting better than it, because to have gotten this, we needed a Mario Kart on a console that underperformed, the Wii U, which in turn led to them deciding to make a port to 8 Deluxe, on Switch, which added a few extra things too, like an actual battle mode and some more characters, double items, a new item in the Boo. You got a decent amount added there. And then, on top of that, because there's also DLC for the Wii U version that just became free for 8 Deluxe. So you had like DLC, and then you had a port that added more stuff. Then they're working on a mobile game, and you've got this console doing so well, and you've got this mobile game that has a bunch of stuff that you can use to make a massive DLC, and they did it. That's never happening again. No, not to that level. Which does make me a bit worried for future Mario Kart, just because I think we've gotten to this high, and I don't think we can get much higher. One Piece reference. I think we've peaked. Which is shocking. They could have done more. There's still more tour tracks they could have done. But yeah, tour ended as the Booster Course Pass ended. So I feel like they're working on the next Mario Kart game. I think we're getting another console soon. That's just a game theory, but yeah. I am excited for it, but I do think we're getting a lot less content. I imagine they're going to start doing 48 tracks as a base thing. I imagine that's what they're going to do. This is also a video. I don't want to speculating on this. This is not the video for that. Mario 8 Deluxe itself is fantastic. It is so good. I got hundreds and hundreds of hours. You know, like online's actually fucking challenging and sweats pissing me off. The updates also fixed the meta. It fixed the meta, you know, while the Wiggler is dead, which I'm glad. There's always going to be comments, like I said, optimal, but this game has a good amount. Like, if you're going to have stats or something, which I think Mario Kart benefits from having stats, it gives you that variety. If you're going to have stats, then there's always going to be something that's considered the top. No matter how you adjust the meta, you can't truly change that. So I think I've done a good job. It was a damn perfect game, you know. I was saying it's nearly perfect before we got the DLC. I was like, it's good. It's just a few chunks I would have added, and you know, a couple characters that I'm missing from the roster. You know, it is still the most complete Mario Kart game, despite some glaring absences. And this game just pulled up and fixed all that. And even then, you can argue there were some glaring absences. You know, where's Airship Fortress? But at the end of the day, you've gotten so much content here that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It doesn't. And I guess the fact that there's still stuff people are sad is missing out. It just, of this game that has so much going on. I think it's just a testament to the quality of this franchise as a whole. But yeah, even though there were some questionable picks for the DLC, just the quantity alone is so much, which that's not to say that wasn't quality. You know, I know people complain about the graphics. The graphics are fine. Again, you were not getting this much content if they weren't going to reuse some assets, which I honestly prefer towards art style because it's more Mario-like, it's more cartoony, it's more vibrant. So, yeah, I know I had an issue with it. And yeah, I think it's just a perfect game. It's so good. It's great for single-player stuff with time trials. It's great for multiplayer with friends and family. It's great for online. It does everything so well. I genuinely could not really have any major complaints with this game. It's so good. Mario Party Superstars. This, another good game to buy friends and family. I think online, no. just no. I played one match online. Everyone just disconnected. Boring to say the least. Single player, also just, you're not going to have a party on your own. This is a game for specifically like couch co-op. And, you know, I've got quite a few hours doing that. Here playing with my mum. And yeah, for that purpose, it's good. And I think that's something that's really needs to serve. But yeah, in terms of like content, I mean, the minigames are great. You know, the actual boards are pretty good. There's only 5 though, and there's only 10 characters. It feels lacking. 5 is like, I think the most Mario Party game will give. I think the other one on Switch only has 4, but it has 20 characters for some reason. Toad's not playable anymore. I don't know why Toad's just never playable. This is a separate rant, but why is Red Toad not playable? He's so few and far between. Even games where Toads are playable, they pick Blue and Yellow Toad. Why? Wonder did this, and I don't understand it. It's weird. They're quite weird with their roster choices, but I'm clear they can make good roster choices because look at the 8 Deluxe DLC and fucking Birdo, Wiggler, Kanik, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, and Peach has that too. Like, they just made room for her as well, and fucking sure, why not? So, yeah, I mean, Birdo's playable in this game, so I don't really need any other character, but yeah, in terms of content in this game, this is truly not a £50 worth of game. I don't think Mario Party is on that level, but it is a fun time. It's a fun time. I think it should have gone more. It should have gone like DLC at the least. Because 5 boards, I don't think it's enough. Especially a lot of them do a lot of similar stuff. They're still very different and have different gimmicks, but you know, a lot of similar aspects, like the booze. Also, it's a very annoying game. That's the point. But oh my god, I don't think I raged at a game more than this. It's fucking painful how much you get fucked over in this game, which is part of the charm of Mario Party. It's just a game not to take seriously at the end of the day, or take seriously, but take seriously by getting pissed off that someone stole your star. Next we have Metroid Dread. Shit game. The drizzling shit. The worst Switch exclusive I played on this platform. An absolute disappointment. I do not know why Metroid fans big this up so much. The map is dull and repetitive, and it's like a maze. You're just expected to shoot everything because you have stuff that are breakable, but you have stuff that just is the same as the regular walls that you can't do anything with, and you can just break them with no indication. It is bullshit. I should not need a constant guide to handhold me while playing this game. Call it a skill issue, I don't care. The game does not tell me what I'm fucking doing. So naturally, I'm not going to know what I'm doing. I did like the first boss. When you actually get to doing stuff, it's fun, but it's so few and far between that I'm probably not touching it again. I got like 4 hours, and the content I actually spent that 4 hours was not much. I spent like at least half of that wandering around figuring out what I'm doing. This game blows ass. I am absolutely not touching another Metroid Dread game. Absolutely not gonna happen. What a shit game. Mortal Kombat 11. I've talked about stuff. I've done a big review on it. I'm not going to delve into it. I like the game despite its problems. I've gone hundreds and hundreds of hours playing it. It's currently archived. I've put it to bed for now because there's another one. Mortal Kombat 12. Again, I just did a review on it. Again, I like it. I'm going to get hundreds of hours out of it. But I have issues with like DLC and the bad microtransaction practices for a full price game. Although I say full price, I got it for like half off because the Switch Port's been shit on. The Switch Port itself has issues. Not that many. It's mainly just some visual bugs now. The online is the biggest issue, which isn't even Switch exclusive. Everything has a decent problem. It fucking sucks. That is unacceptable, but it should get fixed, I'd imagine. Inevitably. I like the game. The story blows ass. The lore is completely ruined beyond repair. But the roster's pretty cool. I like cameos. Yeah, it's something I'm going to keep playing. So yeah, I'm going to do a full review of it. I'm not going to get too in-depth to it. So yeah, moving on. Next thing I look at is Mortal Shell. And this is another newer game I got on Christmas. It got a Switch port and I got a physical copy. I like it. I haven't played much, so I can't comment much. I played a few hours. It's a Souls-like game, and this is the first one I've played, and apparently it's beginner friendly. It has like sort of a gimmick where you're this husk thing and you like take over bodies. And that's kind of what sold me on the idea of, I'll try this now. I'm curious about the genre. And the game is a bit disappointing because there's actually like 4 bodies you can inhabit, and they're all like knights. There's not really much variety. I thought it'd be like all the monsters you can take over. I probably should have looked into that before getting it. But I do like it. I wasn't really sure what the hell I was doing initially. There's a whole DLC that turns the game into a roguelike, and I think that's quite clever. Although that did confuse me because I started playing that and I hadn't even done anything in the main game yet. It's just something you like seamlessly transition to, the DLC and the thing, because you have this sort of base of operations, and it took me a while to find it. But now that I have, and I understand what the hell is going on, I think I'm ready to proceed. I just haven't yet. So I was getting a bit lost. I suppose you kind of compare it to Metroid Dread in that sense, where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing and I was getting my ass whooped. But unlike Metroid Dread, the game does guide you once you find your objective. Whereas Metroid Dread doesn't tell you anything. Great fucking game. So yeah, I think Mortal Shell's alright. Not necessarily what I was expecting, but it's something I will continue at some point. So yeah, moving on. We got the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. Yeah. I again, I haven't played this one much. I played quite a few stuff on it though. I think I can't remember anything specifically. I think there's like a game of pool, and I think I've done that. I think there's a basketball one as well. I might be getting that mixed up with the SNES. I don't know, but I fucked around with a few stuff on it, more so than the Game Boy one. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is at a time where I wasn't around. So I don't have any nostalgia for any of the stuff here. And also I don't think any of it's aged well. It's a nice little bonus, not one that I put time into. Oh, I was saying that, of course, Super Mario Kart, of course I'm playing that. Which, it's cool to experience that. I think it's a cool experience. It's obviously not that spectacular. Although I would say it's better than Mario Kart 64, genuinely. I don't think... The 3D was very ambitious for a Mario Kart in the 90s. I think Double Dash is what made that style good. So yeah. Not Tonight Take Back Control Edition, which is just special edition. It has some DLC thing, which I played. It's like a separate story mode thing. And it's quite story focused. It's like this post-Brexit dystopia thing. Kind of an odd premise, I suppose, but I find it interesting. If you might know it because a lot of YouTubers played it. From what I can recall, I kind of a sponsor thing of just a lot of people tried it out. I think Jacksepticeye made a video called British Papers, Please, and I think that's how I learned about it. I'm not sure. But it's just, you're just a bouncer, and, you got to check people's stuff, their IDs and stuff, and it gets harder and there's more stuff to manage. It's cool. I got about 5 hours into it. I haven't completed it. I tried the DLC out, which has you play as a side character. I assume because they're quite a likeable one. So I think that's neat, but I haven't done too much with it. But yeah, I think this is a solid indie game. I got it for quite cheap. This goes on sale quite often. It's published by No More Robots, I think they're called, which maybe not because I have another game published by them. Apparently I have different devs to the other game I have, but it's very similar style that I couldn't really tell. So I don't know what the case is there, but that is a whole indie team that I think deserves recognition. Because, it's one more obscure stuff. Like the indie games I have here, they're more obscure stuff. And I think this one is quite a stellar indie game. I think at full price not worth it, but it goes on massive sales, and I think I got this one for around £1. I can't remember, it was a couple of years ago I got it. I think that's worth it. I'd say it's on the levels of Dex, where Dex at full price is £20, but it goes on sale so often that even if it was worth that price, you would just wait for a sale. I think these games and Dex have a very, very special experience that not many people have gotten because obscure little indie games, and they're cool. Moving on, another indie game. Not so obscure because it's MDickie, old school. This is his newest one. I think he's going a bit insane on Twitter, but we'll ignore that. I like this. I like this game. In terms of his themes for games, School Days was lower down in my rankings. Because obviously you've got Hard Time, The Prison Sim, which I think is a very good premise. He just hasn't done it very well. Mainly because it was his first 2D one and one of his first 3D sims. There needs to be a modern one. And arguably that should have been what this game is, because it has stuff like the criminal court system and when you're getting sent to the principal's office, and that includes when you do shit like hit and runs. So, but there's no actual police force or anything in this game. It's a quirky little thing. I find it clever how he reuses assets to just create completely different premises for games. Like you have an engine of a wrestling game, and you've transformed it into this, a 3D school simulator, and of course with the 2D games, and even the 3D ones, you had like a prison sim, a school sim, a superhero sim, a fucking zombie survival simulator, just a general island survival simulator. The fucking U Testament for some reason, where you get to be crucified. Like it's wild. It is wild. And I assume he's just going through that cycle of games again, just with these new 3D versions of them. And I think this one's good. You get quite a big discount for having Wrestling Empire. I mean, I think his future games are £5 off because it's £20 per Empire, which I think is very worth it. But then I think he said this game and any other future ones, they're going to be £5 off just because the asset reuses. And then if you have one of the other games, you get a discount. So I got it for like £12-ish, I think. And I think there's another sale on top of that, so it might be less. So yeah, I'd say I played for like 5 hours-ish. I just kind of been fucking around. Obviously, the goal is to graduate, but I've been too busy committing heinous acts that I haven't particularly achieved that. I think the camera angle very much struggles in this, and I think M-Dicky cameras have always sucked. I mean, you get the different angles, so you can manage them, but if you have to pause the game, like manage the cameras, quite tricky. And in this game, I think it's quite a big issue, particularly with like the school corridor. He's created these narrow spaces and hasn't really considered updating his shitty, outdated camera system. The content in these games is quite standard. I would say this game feels like it has less going on. Not on the map. The map is crazy big, and there's a lot of areas I haven't accessed because you need credit or whatever. I don't know if that's a popularity thing in the game stats, or just don't be a criminal. I don't know what the rules are there, but I can't go to any of the stores. I don't even know if that content's in the game. I'm really not quite sure. There's like something to figure out about this one, but I've been enjoying it. This is the first like 3D M-Dicky sim I played, because I started with the mobile apps, which were the 2D ones. I know it's always good. Not really ones you'd pay for. I think these experiences on Switch, these are more justifiable. So especially when you get like almost like half off for future games. I don't know what he makes next. He's already been like showing off features I'll just put in another game, no doubt, because Wrestling Empire, yeah, on Twitter he'd show off a bunch of cool stuff, but it turned out it was for later games like old school here, which is a shame, but it does make sense that you want to limit what's in what games. There's a reason to buy the other games, but a lot of stuff could have just gone to Wrestling Empire, like the cars and stuff, the dismemberment mechanic. Which, me just busting that out, me just saying the dismemberment mechanic, like, if you don't have those games, and you must be very confused, but they're pretty goofy. They got a lot of content. Obviously they feel quite retro, sort of graphically, and in some of the clunkiness of it all, but it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Even though I may cover the wrestling games, I figured I might as well try a 3D M-Dicky experience. I mean, he's probably going to do like so many more that I don't think I'll get any more. Like a 3D Actualize would be cool, or Super City. I don't know. I just don't think paying £12 for like 5 more like reskinned simulators, I don't think that's something I'm going to do, but I don't know. I don't know. I like this game, but it's got a lot more flaws, which, I mean, these are M-Dicky games. They're always going to be kind of goofy. You're probably not going to take them seriously. But when they're like a proper price, then you start to question stuff more. And I think Wrestling Empire is great. I don't really have any issues with that. other than like content that was teased for and then was just put in another game like Old School. But even then, Empire is so much content. It's my favorite wrestling game because it's so much content, which we'll get to that game later. But so it didn't really need more content, and it's still getting its own updates. It's got like a big stage update, and you can have like a dog collar match, crazy shit. So it's still getting stuff. It just feels the focus has been narrowed down from adding some wacky stuff to actual wrestling stuff, which I guess is fair enough. But like, Dickey keeps like yapping on about his shitty little mottos, like oh, if it happens in wrestling, it happens in Empire. Add the fucking cars then, mate. Add dismemberment. People have lost limbs in the ring. This I don't know why he suddenly decided I'm gonna draw the line here for his goofy game. And yeah, he just brags about his games a lot. He brags about his game a lot. Like on my my YouTube feed, I got a video saying wrestling first, and it's like all his games. Several of the things he listed had been done in other games already. But yeah, he brags a lot for a guy where most people playing his games are doing it ironically. I'm not. Although for this game, sort of, yeah. for this game, yes. But the wrestling games, I do have a genuine fondness for. But yeah, when I say he was going insane, that's kind of what I mean. He's just been a bit of a twat. So yeah, I don't know if I want to give him more money. Like what I'm getting, the content I'm getting, it's worth it. But yeah, I don't have an issue with the purchase I made. This game is just in the future. I don't know if I'm going to get many more. Because I feel I'm just going to want to do a quirky Bill Freely sandbox fuck around simulator thing, and I've already kind of got it here. I don't think a school simulator is the ideal setting for it. But I mean, this game's getting more updates and stuff. So I'm interested. I've got more to figure out with it. So I'll stop waffling on about it. But yeah, I think it's a very funny game. I think it's a very funny game. You're going to get enjoyment out if you've played any of the other MDicky games before and liked it. Whether you consider the price of it worth it is a whole other matter. Because I know a lot of people just playing for free. I think he's making because the ads were shut down because his old apps are so old that he kind of ad support. So I think he's actually putting them behind a paywall in general, which is strange. I don't think the app ones are particularly worth it. I don't know. Moving on, because that's a whole other topic. Overwatch 2, this is the other free-to-play game I have kept. It's currently archived because I can mean to get back around to it, but I missed like quite a few seasons now. I think season 5, maybe 6. Whatever the one Larry was added in would have been last time I played. I didn't even play that one much. I like this game, and I think it gets a lot of flack in some aspects, deservingly so, but I do think it does a lot of stuff right, and I do think the Overwatch fans complain a lot. They complain about non-problems a lot of the time. Most notably, the whole microtransaction thing, which that's bad. But obviously it's a free-to-play game now. You kind of need it. The price is overpriced, and I wouldn't want to give Blizzard money in the first place. But people can complain about cosmetic stuff, but at the same time, you get way better access to cosmetics in this game. They do so much more free stuff. There's no more loot box bullshit. You get a bunch of coins, a bunch of credits that you can spend on anything that was in Overwatch 1. And again, I haven't played much of these where they've increased the amount. I haven't played them that much in recent months. I've gotten like 3 legendary Moira skins, and I was trying to get like even an epic Moira skin before. And Moira's my main, so that's just for reference. Like it is so much easier to get the cosmetics you want. It's so much easier to earn stuff. It's so much faster. But I find that a dumb complaint when, surprisingly, the free-to-play version of the game has made cosmetics much more accessible. Sure, the new stuff they had, that's paywall locked, but I don't really give a toss. right? Like, fair fucking enough. I'm getting the cosmetics I've been trying to get from loot box RNG for many years. I haven't played Overwatch 1 in years, which I think most had. I think I stopped playing around when Baptiste was added. But yeah, I came back like the first 6 months-ish, but sort of on and off. I really did like it when it started. I think they have been improving the game. There's no real reason, there's no real issue I had with the game that made me stop playing other than toxic players. I think it's a fine game. I think the sequel's actually been doing a lot of right things, a lot better things than people give it credit for. I know apparently they're trying to have a passive heal ability. That one's dumb because that goes against the whole structure of the game. It goes against the whole team-based strategy thing. And I'm a support main, and I find it insulting how they want to give everyone a self-heal. But yeah, I do want to go back. I know there's Mauga, and he's a dope-looking character. Apparently he's overpowered, but I wouldn't know. I don't know the current state of the game, but there wasn't anything that made me stop playing for a while. It's just something that I'll go back to. But it's not an online game that's going to keep me grabbed permanently. It's like Fortnite at this point. Fortnite I used to just play it like all day, every day. Right? When it was at its peak in like 2018. And now it's like, I'll check it out every now and then. You know, there's always something to go back to with these sorts of games. But at the same time, I'm not that crazy about live service games that they keep me engaged where I'm playing it like constantly every week. I don't do that. But it is something that those two games do keep me engaged enough to come back. And I've been trying to come back to the game. I just have too many other games. Oh god, and next here we have 4 Pokemon games, although one doesn't really count. Pokemon Home. This isn't a game, it's a transfer system. It basically just lets you transfer Pokemon to home, and then you can send them to another game. I think it's a clever, unique little thing to offer. And I think it does its job well, so moving on. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This is a game I really like. I like the whole open world stuff already, open world. It doesn't have too much crazy going on. Oh, I haven't gone to every map. You know, the first are sort of generic forests, generic plains and stuff. And I think that's fine because obviously you're looking for the Pokemon. I think it's a good start to this style of game. I spent about 10 hours into it. So I've gone quite deep into the game, but I'm not in like the middle point of like the story or anything. I'm sure there's plenty of side quests. But yeah, I really like it. I just haven't played it much because I've been focused on other stuff, like other Pokemon games, and I'm going to be distracted again because I bought the Pokemon Scarlet DLC. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really comment on it, but I got that. And I had Shield. I was trying to complete the main stuff with that. I haven't 100% of that. But yeah, that was something I was doing. So I finished off before I started Arceus, and I've just had other games around. So I haven't gone too deep into Legends Arceus, but I do like it. I prefer it to Shield, I'd say. I like the exploration element to the Pokemon game. I think it's very unique, and I think it does its job well. So yeah, I don't know what to say about it, but I do like it. So yeah, Pokemon Scarlet. This game is so good. This game is really fucking good. It got review bombed to hell, and it did not deserve it. I got the game for Christmas last year, well, the 2022, and I really fucking like it. I really like it. It's the first Pokemon game I actually bought, and I also got gifted Shield at the same time, and that's kind of why it's really hard to get around to Arceus, because yeah, I've basically gone through 3 Pokemon games in 1 year, which is quite a lot. It's a considerable amount. But Scarlet, I really fucking love. I love this game. Like I said, it's probably my top 3 favorite Nintendo exclusives, period, ever. I think it's such a good game. I don't really think it's hate anymore. I think people kind of accepted, that hey, it's a Pokemon game. I don't really think the outdated looking map graphics are that bad. It's perplexing because Arceus looks pretty fine and Shield looks great, but obviously Shield it isn't really doing that open world sort of thing. This game is a full open world map. Not even broken up in sections, it's just a complete open world experience. You can go to whatever gym you want, and you've also got these side stuff like Team Star bases, and you also got these, I can't remember what they're called, but the big like Titan Pokemon. I don't know if they were called Titans. I think I'm just thinking that because of MK12. But there's so much to do. And I really liked it. It was a really fucking cool journey. Something where you want to go and making your own path. And it had a bit of challenge because you go to some harder stuff while under leveled. I liked the freedom it gave you. And it wasn't hand holding you. It's a blend of Arceus and a traditional Pokemon game. And it keeps the elements of both that I really like. And it creates this perfect Pokemon game for me. Which I should clarify, as a Pokemon fan, I'm very new. I emulated Pokemon Heart Gold last year, and that's kind of what made me go, okay, I'll actually get some of the Switch games. I didn't intend to get Shield, because I heard bad things about it, but I got gifted, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. But Scarlet I really wanted, and it did impress. I had my doubts initially, because, yeah, you see an image of the game, and you hear about all these glitches and bugs, and it's like, oh god, I'm not getting this. But I think people exaggerate them. Of course, it's going to depend on your experience. I did not have any real glitches, at least not significant. I think the only recurring thing was there's a lot of slowdown when you go to cities or towns because there's a lot of NPCs. And that's it. The frame rate doesn't matter. It wasn't like it was chugging along, it was taking her to get everywhere. I could just notice that, oh, it's choppy. And that was sort of it. I think a lake, the big lake, I forgot what it's called. There was that too, where that happened. But yeah, didn't really matter. I like the Pokedex in this one. I think they got a good selection of 400. DLC adds plenty more. I don't even know the full list. I know all the starters are back, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm very excited to try DLC. Again, I just haven't made time for it because I've got all these other new games. But I am excited. And apparently there's like a whole epilogue thing, which I didn't even know about. So there's so much more to do. They also keep adding stuff, which I guess is just common with Pokemon games, where they have this online service thing and they add stuff like, codes to get some special thing, or these Terra Raid stuff, which I've kind of missed quite a few in the past few months. I've been trying to keep on track of it, but I did miss the last one. But apparently they'll come back around, the ones I missed. I did miss a Darkrai, which is unfortunate because for Arceus there's a side quest, I need Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl to get it, and that's how I get a Darkrai. It would have just been convenient if I could have just gotten a Darkrai with the mystery code and then use it. So I'm kind of salty over that, but it doesn't really matter. I do think Pokemon has such weird things. That's the charm. How you have like these version differences, and you have these limited time stuff, and you have all these mythical Pokemon and crazy shit like that. It makes them feel special, but it is annoying. It is annoying when you miss it. But yeah, I don't like Terra Raids in this game. I think they're all incredibly laggy. It's just not a fun time. I only play it for the event Pokemon when I know that they're happening. That's all I've used it for, really. It got old fast. I don't like it. I thought... I 100% this one. This is the one Pokemon I've 100%. Completed Pokedex. I just did everything. Did all the story stuff and whatnot. And then I thought I'd do some more after that. I was like, okay, it's time to start shiny hunting. I did that. I got a shiny Clodsire and a shiny Quagsire. So I had to do egg shiny hunting whilst also looking for a shiny Paldean Wooper. And that was fun. And that's kind of when I left the game. I kind of dropped it there. Whenever I load into the game, I'm still in this marsh area where I was shiny hunting Woopers. I haven't moved away from it since, because whenever I hop onto the game, it's to do the online stuff, which is very infrequent. I don't do online battles. I tried a couple, and I don't find it that engaging. I don't really care to get in depth about like Pokemon battling and stuff. It doesn't appeal to me. I thought it might, considering how much time I sunk to the game, but yeah, no, that is not a side that appeals to me compared to Pokemon. Yeah, that's not for me. But there's still plenty of content. I got whatever 100 hours, and I'm about to get a lot more before the DLC stuff. But yeah, when it's over for me. And that's just me. And of course, there's some online stuff that makes me log back in. Even though I don't like earning this stuff, because I don't like the Terra Raid battles. But it's like, oh, here's a new cool thing to get. I really like this game. The story is also very good for a Pokemon game. Probably my favourite. Arceus is apparently really good, the story, and I'm liking it so far, but it hasn't really gripped me like this one. Arven's very cool character. What's his name, Arven? Arvo? I can't remember. No, I'm sorry. I can't believe I forgot his name. Oh, I really like the character with the dog, though. I fucking love that guy. That's my man. And apparently Epilogue has stuff with those characters. I don't know if the ODLC does. But I'm excited to check it all out, because I don't know what's going on with that. And I'm sure I'll like that. I think this game's brilliant. I don't have an issue with any of its flaws, as people seem to claim they are. You know, the graphics I don't care about. As long as the Pokemon models are good, which they are. I don't care if the open world is pretty objectively an outdated looking thing. It's still a great, well-designed map with a ton of variety in locations, biomes, stuff to do. I really like it. So yeah, moving on. Pokemon Shield. I like it, but it does certainly include the elements of that. The elements of a traditional Pokemon game, that is what put me off. I don't really mind it, because I'm happy to own a Pokemon game that's of a more traditional style, where it's sort of hand-holds and stuff, and the only real thing to do is, beat the gyms, and you can roam freely around stuff, but ultimately you're confined to routes and stuff. But yeah, I like it. The story is fucking dreadful. It is so bad. I thought it'd be okay at first. Because they're introducing the champion early. So you care about the champion, and his brother is like your sidekick, I guess. I'm not going to call him a rival, because he's not. He's not a rival. And also you have like this other guy who's meant to be another rival, and he's just a snobby dickhead. And I don't care about him either. And then you have Marnie, who's just an e-girl, and I don't care about her. The professor lady's cool, I guess. But yeah, the story didn't do it for me. So I didn't have that, which I'm fine with. But I played this after Scarlet, because I just wanted to start playing Scarlet when I got both games at the same time. And yeah, coming off that very good story, a genuinely emotional story, which I did not expect from a fucking Pokemon game. Like this game is more, Shield is more what I expected when I had Pokemon games in mind. This is more of what I expected. It gets a bit slow. It can bore me in that sense. I only caught like 125 Pokemon out of like 400. I just stubbed my toe. Ignore that. So I think I didn't 100% this one, but I got to the end. I admittedly kind of speed around the post-story content, because I did not care at that point. I really didn't. And it was just really dull. It introduced these two like dickhead antagonists, which are just annoying from haircut alone. And I did not care for it. I just sort of blazed through it. I didn't even pay attention to that. Like, I was just over it. I was like, I want to complete the story so I can get the legendary Pokemon. And I just want to call it there for now. I feel at some point, you know, when I'm back into Pokemon, this is a game I'll revisit, just because I still have stuff to do. I still have so many more Pokemon to get, and there's a good selection. There's even DLC for this game, which is apparently really good, but I'll probably miss it, just because I have so much Pokemon shit here. You know, if I'm still needing a Pokemon fix by the time I've done anything with these 3 games, then sure, I'll get it, but at the moment I don't think I will. Which yeah, which may sound like I don't like this game. I do. It's just the most flawed. It's enjoyable. It is enjoyable, but it is annoying at parts. And by the end of it, I just want to be over. I sunk about 50 hours into it, I think. Good amount of time. Well, a lot of it I spent paused. I don't know the genuine time there. Much less time than Scarlet, I'm sure, I spent. But I still got a lot out of it. I still enjoy it. The art style is fantastic. It's a really nice looking game. So yeah, that's about it. Moving on from the Pokemon stuff. Reason Character Puzzle, another fucking random indie game I got for very cheap. This is a puzzle game. It's one where like you have a grid and you've got like a box and you've got to get these specific tile things. And I don't know how to describe better than that. If you know, you know. It's a pretty typical style of puzzle game. I like it. It's just pretty generic, which is fine. Cause I spent a few pennies. I was like, okay, I'll get this because this is actually a type of puzzle I like, and I've done quite a few levels as a timer and stuff, so you can time yourself. And I can't remember. That was either 50 or 100. I can't remember which, but ample amount for 7 pence. You know, so not much complaints here. Just nothing crazy, of course, but nothing I regret trying out. I was like, okay, puzzle games aren't my sort of thing, but I do like that style of puzzle. So when I, for a time when I was bored, I just go to this game, so I can progress further. So yeah, I like it. Next is Sifu. Sifu's a really fucking cool game. From like the physical copy, you just get a steelbook. The standard edition is called Avengers Edition, so you have a special edition. It's just a standard one, no additional cost, 35 quid. And it comes with so much stuff. It's like I got like a deluxe edition or something. And it's really cool. It's a really cool package. But the game itself is just so cool. I love like martial arts stuff, I think it's always pretty dope. I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, of course I do. And this game how you play as a guy, and you got like 5 big levels with a bunch of different areas and a whole bunch of enemies to fight. And there's just so much variety in the combat. There's difficulty, depending on the difficulty you set. It can be challenging. I think I was trying to finish a run on hard difficulty. I think that's what I was doing last time I played. It's also just very replayable. Like I said, there's only 5 levels, but you want to replay it because you got like all these different modifiers and these different difficulty stuff. And just in general, it has a replayable factor because it's just so fun to keep fucking fighting. And it's sort of like a roguelike because when you die, you do have to go back and you might want to retry levels so you can beat it at a younger age. Because the gimmick is you have this talisman thing, and it means when you're killed, it doesn't actually kill you. You just age up a bit and then you respawn. And that's kind of the theme throughout the whole of the final. Not final, the whole of the game, not even the final bit. Just the whole of the game, you get to like over 100 and you're dead. Actually, no, it's not 100. I can't remember the exact number. It might actually differ depending on difficulty. I can't remember. It has been a while. I apologise, but it is a very cool game. I do like it a lot. It has a lot of skins locked behind DLC. I'm not a fan of that. At the same time, I don't really mind. I was going to get the pack, the skin pack, but they had this arena mode, and actually your costume in that game's completely random anyway, so it's like, who gives a toss? Well, it's not random, it's just set for different levels, because a bunch of levels are references to stuff. And that's why. But yeah, this arena side content thing is free, and I think there's still more to be added. I don't think it's finished yet. I think there's still one more update to go, and I do like the arena stuff. That's a cool little bit. There's replayable stuff. There's little goals to obtain. There's a lot to this game. I've been selling worth £35. It's just a very good game. Some of the best combat I've seen in a game. The action is really fucking cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this game. The story's good as well. The actual overall story is good. It's quite simple, but it's interesting. So I'll give it props for that. Oh my fucking god. I forgot about this. Skateboard drifting with Maxwell Cat, the game simulator. I think that's the full title. This is quite a game. So this is a game that just showed up in the eShop, and it got meme big for a while. And I had some coins lying around, and I was like, oh, it's on a big sale. I'm gonna get it for like £1. It might have been less. You've paid arguably £1 too much. I got the game. I've actually sunk 2 hours into it, so I'd say I've got my money's worth. I've put 2 whole fucking hours into skateboard drifting with Maxwell Cat. This is a joke game. Like this was a completely ironic purchase, and I kind of like it. I think I posted clips of it on my channel. I kind of like it. It's built in Unity and it uses a lot of just generic assets. It's breaking a lot of copyright stuff because it has Uganda Knuckles in the game. Not even with a different name or anything, just Knuckles. So, yeah, I don't know if it's still listed in the store. I guess it's so obscure, but how it works is you just hop in, you end the game, you've got like some objectives to skateboard over to, and you can do some tricks and stuff. The trick point system isn't very, very great. I don't know if it rewards you. I don't really know how it works. Maybe there's some hidden depth to the game. I don't know what the Maxwell Cat skateboard drifting meta is, but it's an online game, weirdly. So I hope they keep the servers running. Because whenever you hop in, it's just sort of this hub. You can just come and go as you please. And I guess because there's obviously not going to be many players. I guess whoever made this, whatever genius made this game, they just said, oh, fuck it. Everyone just gets in the same map. And it's kind of funny. You can fuck around with people. I've noticed last time I played the skateboard driven Maxwell Cat, playbase is dying. I still found a couple players though. So yeah, you get a bunch of points. It's actually quite grindy. There's so much to unlock, surprisingly. I think I unlocked a Buff Doge was the last thing I unlocked. That was very nice. I also just plays copyrighted music as well. So yeah, pretty fucking cool game. Pretty cool game. 10 out of 10. Slime Rancher Plural Edition. I fucking adore Slime Rancher. I think the Switch port, I think it's the only one that got a physical release. The cover for it's the best cover I've seen in any game. Just peak cover. I really fucking like Slime Rancher. I have a very soft spot for this game. I can't remember how I got it, but it's like some Xbox trial thing. And I really liked it. I completed it several times. I speedrun it. I speedrun that game before. I got like 44 minutes, any percent. I don't know where that landed on the thing because I wasn't recording at the time. But yeah, I like the game so much. I was speedrunning it just for fun, not even to submit it to anything. It is a great game. I really do like it. It's just very chill, you know. You got the cute little slimes. It's a great art style. I really do like it. I like all the slimes. They added a bunch of updates, big updates and stuff, which are good, but they didn't really add any new slime types. The one that did it most was Ogden's expansion thing, where you have these extinct slimes, and you can get their plorts, but they have to be Largos, which Largos are a mixture of two slime types. And that's how you're going to get the most profit with those types of slimes, which is really cool because you can get your own slime combinations. There's a whole stock market for plorts, which plorts are just slime poop. So that's awesome. There's an economy built up on shit. And there's just a lot to it. There's a lot to it. It's got quite a cute story as well. It's not really told through letters. But your character's a love interest. It doesn't have like an identified gender or anything. I think the reason for that was to make it more relatable to people, so you can imagine a different, like someone in your life in that place. I don't know, but it's quite nice, and the end credits are very sad. Even when I first played it, and I did not read any of the letters much. So yeah, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. You know, playing it again a second time on Switch. I've still got stuff to do for it, I think. I've still got plenty of stuff to do. I haven't gotten all the areas unlocked. I really do like it. It runs great on Switch as well, and the Switch includes like all the add-on stuff as well, with like these different slime skins, which just completely changes their look. They basically double the slime amount, the slime count because of all the reskins. It's just a very chill game. I really like it. And there's a second game. I know it's on Xbox. It's in a beta. I hope it comes to Switch. I imagine it will, because I assume by the time it's ready for full release and will come to other platforms, I imagine another Switch will be out. So if it doesn't run this Switch or run that, which you might be thinking, oh, it's Slime Rancher, because it's going to run the final Switch. But it didn't. The first game did not run very well on Xbox One. It would struggle with my ranch and all the slimes I had. It would just be choppy. The frames would drop whenever I went to my ranch. So that's pretty funny. I haven't had that problem on Switch, weirdly enough, but I think I have much less slimes in my Switch save. We are with Splatoon 2, another one of the first few Switch games I got. I don't really know why. I don't know what caught my eye. I don't know, I guess I want like an online replayable shooter game. This did not do it for me. I like it. I got like 25 hours into it, which is a decent amount. Leveling up takes so long though. I find the whole... I'm not interested in the lore of this game. I'm not interested in the characters or anything. I wasn't interested in doing the story thing. I think the single player content blows ass. I know there's an expansion thing that I'm not buying at. I was just kind of there to go, oh, online shooter, it's Nintendo's Call of Duty, which I don't like Call of Duty, so I don't know why I cared about that so much. And I have fun with it online. I just think it's managed poorly. You have like a ranked mode, and the ranked mode is for various different types of game modes, but only 2 are available at once. Actually, I think it's only 1. Yeah, it's only 1. There's only 1 type of match. And there's like, out of like 3 of them. And then there's only 2 maps available at once. Which I get for matchmaking purposes, you might want to limit the amount of modes at a time, but the maps, why would you limit the maps? Just have all the maps. Because then it gets repetitive real fast in that 2-hour period before it resets. And each time it resets, you have to go through the same fucking news feed that you can't skip. It's an annoying game. And it gets annoying fast. I'm not a fan of any of the side content. You know, I think only the online mode is particularly great. And even that has the problem of the limitations Nintendo forced on it. I want to like this game more. I wanted to get into the online more, and I did for quite a bit. I was getting into it. I think it's a fun shoot game. The casual mode is just always in Turf War, but you are limited to 2 maps, so even that gets boring. Turf War isn't even a ranked mode, even though it's your whole casual mode. And that's sort of the main mode of the game. It's weird. It's such a weird system. I don't know how the numbers for this game are doing now. I think they'll probably be fine, but... You know, there's a third game, which... You did not need 2 Splatoon games on 1 console. Especially when, you know, it took Splatoon 2 forever to get enough of this to have as much content as the first game, and the third game is going to have the same issue. I'm absolutely not getting this third game. I don't really regret getting Splatoon 2. I just think it's odd that how I prioritise it over other games. I still got a decent amount of playtime out of it. I had a decent amount of fun. It's just, it's problems and the stuff I didn't like and the stuff I didn't care for. It all combined for what just an experience I kind of dropped, and I don't have a great deal of nostalgia or care for to reminisce on. But yeah, it's fine. I just don't get his popularity. I don't get... I don't get why people gravitate towards it so much. Next is Stardew Valley, and this is another fantastic game. So fucking good. It gets compared to like Minecraft and Terraria, but it's just a farmer simulator, and you got a town, you got all these NPCs that you can interact with, bond with. They got like a whole bunch of lore and stuff you can learn more about when you befriend them and stuff. There's like a bunch of romanceable characters, and you're not limited by stuff. You can have homosexual parents. That's neat. And you can have yourself a fucking family and shit on your farm. There's a bunch of farm types to choose from. I chose the worst farm, like objectively the worst one. I chose the fish farm, which just takes away so much land I could have had in place for water, which doesn't even give you the most optimal fish. The best place to go is the ocean. So it was good for early game, but after that it's useless. But also I'm so attached to my first save that I don't really want to make another. But this is such a great game. It's such a charming game. I really do like it. There's so much to do in it. I can't even cover like everything there is to do. There's like events on the calendar and stuff. There's like seasonal things. There's different paths to go down with the story and stuff. I've sunk about 100 hours into this game, and there's still stuff I can do in it. It's very fucking cool. There's a crazy modding scene as well, which doesn't even really matter because it's PC only, of course, but I've seen some very cool stuff. It's got a cool community. So yeah. Next I got two Subnautica games, and weirdly enough, I have not played Subnautica on the Switch. I've had it for like well over a year now, but I haven't actually touched it on the Switch yet. I haven't even booted it up. And that's because when I got Below Zero, the physical copy includes both. There's no mention about both, so you just get the first game as a bonus, which is neat, but I haven't really done anything with it. However, I have played it before, so I can talk about my experience. I had it on Xbox, and I liked it. I played it for quite a few hours, but it doesn't really grip me. And honestly, Below Zero, I might as well bundle them together here, because my thoughts on it are pretty much the same. They do different stuff, don't get me wrong, but my overall thoughts are pretty much the same in the sense that I really like the whole exploration element, going underwater and stuff. It's interesting, like exploring stuff and finding the fish and stuff. Actually progressing through the game is where I start to lose interest. I think it's quite vague in what there is to do. And it's something I could easily figure out using a guide, but it's something I haven't been asked to do. Yeah, it's just something that I've checked out, I had fun with, but it doesn't keep me around to finish the either game. But I do like them. I do like these games. They're quite charming, but yeah, they're nothing crazy for me personally. And oh god, we've got so many fucking Mario games. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Good bundle. I know people complained how they didn't really change anything. I don't think they had to. I think even the faithful ports is kind of the point. I would have preferred to have Mario... I would have preferred to have a port of the DS version of 64, because the DS version is objectively an upgrade. It does so much better. It adds so much new extra content. It has a bunch of new characters. It's the version I grew up with. It has new levels. It is the better version. Its only issue, even had better graphics, although more pixely. It had better graphics. So the only issue I had with it, and it wasn't a problem when I was a kid. It's a problem when I try to revisit it. Is the controls on DS are agonizing. It is so hard to manage, especially without proper camera control. It needed a proper console port, but it just went with regular 64, which is still great. It's actually my favourite game of these three, weirdly enough. I genuinely think 64 is aged the best, which is quite strange. This 64 version is like a Japanese port of the original, I think, which has like a few patches, which is quite interesting. It's an interesting thing, and people have point it out to point out how lazy this port is, but that doesn't really bother me. I saw this is like pretty much 50 quid worth. The exclusivity of it, I don't know why they make it for a limited time thing. I don't know why they did that. It's still easy to get your hands on a copy because everyone bought one. Like if you had a Switch at the time, you were getting one. Because I mean, even like Christmas was within the period it was out. They also had like Mario 35 for a long time, which was the original game, but a battle royale, like Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99. Those two are still around, but those two suck ass, and most of the content's locked. Which that's another thing that's Nintendo member, like Nintendo Online member thing only. But I don't have them installed. I don't have them listed in my thing because they're so lame. They're such lame games. 35 was good, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I do like it. I don't really regret having it because it's just nice to do it. I got to play Sunshine for the first time, which, boy, it's overrated. It is such an overrated game. It's a game that gets called underrated so much that it becomes overrated. Everything people complain about that I've seen in the past, they are all so right. Like, there's so much annoying bullshit. Hell, I will admit some stuff annoy me less than others. I think the what was it, the pinball machine thingy? I can't remember what it was. It was some machine thing that is like infamous. That didn't really bother me. I swear not. I was also fine with the Chucksters level. I fucked it up a few times, but it was manageable. The Chucksters level was manageable. But certain stuff was just annoying and just a bunch of tedious stuff. I really showed the age of the game. It looks great. It looks great. Like graphically, it's aged very well. I love the vibrancy. I love how it's doing something unique with the whole theming and stuff. I liked it. It just really pissed me off. I didn't get close to understanding it. I just got as much as I needed to do the final level, which is the final level might be the most annoying level in Mario history for me. I cannot stand it. But yeah, it's a fine game. It's just so fucking annoying. It is so annoying that one level, it is easier to use an exploit than to do the normal platforming way, which is wild. Mario, this is like one of the only Mario games that has actually really hard platforming, and it's quite mental. Call it a skill issue, I don't care. It fucking annoys me. So yeah, I do like the game. It just started to piss me off. And that kind of overtook my memories of the game. But what stuff I liked, I liked the flow mechanic, as janky as it can be at times. The movement of Mario feels great as per usual. I do like the level design. I just think some of them are too annoying, but I think all of them conceptually were good themes. So yeah, it's a game I think is all right. It's an all right one. And then Mario Galaxy has not aged well. Straight away, that's annoying is the motion controls, which I get. You need motion controls for the Starbit collector thing. You kind of, there's no way around that. But they could have at least updated the stuff where you have to point and click on shit. The main menu, it does not need motion controls to select stuff on the main menu. You do not need it. I have so much nostalgia for the Wii, but I do not want to go back to that console because it would be fucking dreadful to deal with. Guys just kind of remind me of that. And it can be a bit annoying at times, of course, not on the level of Sunshine. But there's stuff that did get on my nerves. I was trying to get all the stars from it, and I can't remember what area I got to, but I started to give up on that. But I did get a lot of it done, in all fairness, and I did enjoy a good amount of it. It was just some stuff annoyed me, and it wasn't as great as I remembered. Without the nostalgia goggles, it was like, oh, okay, it's fine. I'm sure it was great for its time, but yeah, this is just okay. Overall, it's a good collection. You have to relive these games. It's a good thing to have this stuff. I feel that the main point of having this would be to preserve these games further, but they made it limited time, so they only sort of achieved that. But it is what it is. But yeah, I was very surprised to have found 64 to be the most enjoyable experience on, I found the most polished. There's still sections in that annoyed me though. All of the stuff that annoyed me, which obviously the stuff that I do like. I was enjoying the game more than I was being annoyed by it. I will clarify that. I don't want to sound like I'm dogging on this, but yeah, it just wasn't as great as I expected. Which, you know, I should have considered the fact that they're old games, they're not perfect. So yeah, next is Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Great game. The Bowser's Fury Island was great. It's its own game, pretty much. A short one, but still its own game. It seems like they're testing like for open world Mario games. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I 100% that. 3D World, I pretty much 100% it, except the final world, which is quite difficult. It has like these 3 final challenges. I had 100% the rest of the game to get to them. And I tried them out, but I got stumped on them. And I think I didn't complete them. So it's a bit of a challenge there. There's 5 characters, each has a different purpose, which I very much like. This was kind of in the a part of what started the whole Blue Toad era that I mentioned earlier, where you only get blue and yellow toads as playable now, not red toad. And in party games, Toad's not even playable anymore. It is insane. Red Toad Erasure will not stand. He's like one of the most iconic Mario characters. I don't know why they're doing this. Yeah, it's cool. I like playing as Toad. I like playing as all the characters. I like all their special perks. It's very cool. You know, it feels like 3D lands or like linear level, like a 2D level but in 3D style, which I think works very well. I prefer the full-on 3D experience. I prefer the uniqueness and the openness to those ones, but this is handled really well. It makes for a very polished experience. It's a very great game, and the power-ups are great, and yeah, it's just very fun. I don't have any complaints with it, really. So yeah, moving on. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I have not completed this, but I've been having a very good time with this game. It is so good. I was wanting a proper 2D Mario game for a while, which I thought Mario Maker 2 would serve as that, but I was so wrong. We'll get into that game in a minute. But Mario Bros. Wonder, very good game. Of course, it's new, so I haven't really completed it yet, but I've gotten about 10 hours into it. I played it with my girlfriend and my mum at some points. I've also played it on my own, so I've kind of got a whole blend of experiences playing this game. It's a very fucking fun game. It's really good. It's really good. I don't know where to start with, really. I think it's like Sunshine in the sense that it takes you away from the Mushroom Kingdom and you get all these unique stuff. I think it's much better than Sunshine, though. I really like all the new enemies and stuff. I like the Flower Kingdom. It's quite clever how they have these poplins, I think they're called, which are just toads but flowers. I think that's crazy. Of course, you have Prince Florian, and you have the badge mechanic thing, which is very cool. It adds for a lot of variety. You know, you can change up the moveset and stuff. I got the badge that gives you that will alert you when there's a collectible nearby, which is very good. Because I'm kind of use that for each of the levels now. Because since I got it, I haven't missed anything in any levels. Because there's some hard secrets. There's some tricky secrets to get all the stuff, which I like. Yeah, purple coins. They have these big purple coins, which are basically the star coins. But the purple coins in general, you buy stuff from the store. There's like these standy collectible stuff. There's like a lot of depth to it. It's still simple, which it's good. It should be that, but you have that added variety and that added depth and these new features and stuff. It's very good. The levels are great. They're very great. The Wonderflower stuff is a fantastic gimmick. I wasn't sure it'd be that great, but it's so cool. You know, like second level in, and you know, I've popped the Wonderflower thing, and the piranha plants are singing a song to me. Like, it is an acid trip, and it's great. It is perfect. My only real complaint thus far is the the characters, the selection is pretty vast. You have, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, the blue one, and the yellow Toad, no red Toad, but sure, you only got two options there. Toadette, that's a good pick. I think that was in the last 3D Mario game, which I haven't actually played. And I was going to get it, but then this game got announced, and I was like, okay, never mind. I'll get this instead. What was my issue? Oh, right, okay. My issue with the selection is, I don't, it's not even the fact that the characters don't do anything different. I don't mind that, especially for a 2D game. I think it's fine. Daisy's also playable now, which good for Daisy fans, but I'm not a Daisy fan, so that doesn't really bother me. She probably deserves it. She's popular enough. I'm waiting for Wario to be in one of these though. And yeah, I don't mind that they do different stuff. My problem kind of comes with Nabbit. I don't know why he's this easy mode character. It's weird. I just want to play as Nabbit normally, but he doesn't get power-ups, nor does he do anything special, so he's just sort of a cheat character. There's also the Yoshis, and I really like playing as the Yoshis, but they also can't die or anything, because they don't take power-ups, so it's not like they have the mushroom effect. Which, I'm fine with them not taking power-ups, because they have their own abilities. They play like a Yoshi from Yoshi's Island, which is perfect. It's a bunch of fun. I have much more fun playing as a Yoshi, but I don't have the limitation of not having the powers, which you don't even need to collect everything. It just feels odd, and also because you can't die, then it feels sort of cheating. The two-player experience is great, though, to have a Yoshi. I think that's a great thing because you can jump on their back and stuff. You have all those options that a Yoshi Island game would give, except for being able to eat the player. That was a shame that I couldn't do that. But yeah, I like the Yoshis. You have 4 colours as well as a decent amount. I think it's like half of them. One little wonder. But yeah, that's enough. That's enough colours for Yoshi. And yeah, I just thought it was a shame how they were kind of relegated to easy mode characters. Which, again, that's more of a nitpick than anything. I don't really mind it. So yeah, I just find the selection sort of weird and how they handled it to be weirder. But it's fine. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I really like the new level design and stuff. There's so much more variety. The whole issue people had with the 2D games was just they've gone on sale, they've gotten repetitive with a new series. This whole game's purpose was to make 2D Mario feel fresh. And they definitely achieved that. From changing the kingdom to having all the different enemy types, the Mormors are great. I do wonder. It's just called Wonder. That's funny. That was unintentional. But I gotta wonder what this will do for the future of this franchise, because there's so many new enemy types, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who loves them, that I think they're gonna stick around. I think you've kind of got this whole new generation of these iconic enemies with the bouncing hippos or the rhinos, and the Mormors, of course, have to come back. And of course, there's still Wigglers, there's still Boos, there's still Gumbas, of course, Koopas, all that stuff. Of course, it's still there. But yeah, I do wonder what the future Mario looks like with all the new concepts this game introduced, because I don't feel like this is going to be one and done. Of course, it's in a separate kingdom. But I don't know. I don't know how you do it. But I do think a lot of stuff has to return. For sure. Because it's fucking, I don't know if they change the kingdom in future games. I don't know if this is the new format. Like, they'll do the Star Kingdom next game or whatever. I don't know if that's how it's going. I don't know. I'm very curious, though. This game has new voice actors for, I think, everyone, actually. I don't think it's just Mario and Luigi, but I could be wrong. They're all pretty good. I think they're as good as you're going to get. You can tell the difference, but it's fine. It's a great voice, so no complaints there. yeah, I just really like this game. I really like this game. And I've never been too crazy about 2D Mario in the first place. I like the DS New Super Mario's, both of them. And the Wii one's not as good. And Mario Maker 2, which transitions greatly into this. I do not like Mario Maker 2 that much. But Wonder really does put 2D Mario on a whole nother level. It's a very good game. Again, a must-have for Switch owners, pretty much. Very good game. Mario Maker 2, however, no, I don't recommend Mario Maker 2. I think there's a big misunderstanding when you look at the game on paper and what it actually is. Because on paper, this is a game where you can make any level you want, which that's already cool. You can publish them, and then you can play other people's levels. You can even do world stuff. And then on top of that, there is a dedicated Nintendo-made story mode with levels made by Nintendo. So that seems like it covers everything you'd want in a 2D Mario. You have a more traditional Mario game experience on top of the Maker stuff. But that's not the case. The story mode is ass cheeks. You just kind of rebuild a castle, which that's fine. I don't care about the premise. The levels themselves are so generic and bland and have no life to them. They don't feel officially made. They just feel lazy. And for some reason, you can edit the levels. Mid-game, you can just cheat and whenever you want. And there's no consequences. So there's no incentive to fuck around with that mode. It's a shame. And then online itself, of course, you need a membership to begin with to properly experience this game. And play other people's creations. People create some monstrosities, though. There's so many auto-play levels which I don't see the appeal of. There's just so much dog shit that plagues the search thing, and they don't have a good search bar or anything. I've tried something with stuff like 1-1, like just numbers, like how they number a traditional Mario game, because I think the best creations in this game are people who basically make their own game. They do their own levels, they go for like worlds of their own, and just come up with their own Mario game. Which, you think the worlds feature would help with that, when they added worlds and you can like set out your layout for a world and have all these different levels, which is great. The problem is, when you want to play someone's world, you can't, there's no search option, it's just random. And you can't even preview it. So you're just taking a gamble on whether it's going to be good or not. It is terribly done. It is like Splatoon, where they just completely botched an online system. And I think there's another game where they botched the online. And there's about a lot of complaints on Nintendo Online comes from. Because I don't think Nintendo's that great at managing it. Yet you're meant to pay a subscription for it. It's quite poorly managed. Which is a shame. And in general, you're going to get less here because it is a creative thing, so there's going to be less options, going to be less variety. There's still plenty and updates. The game got added more, but yeah. The most fun I get is making stuff. I do enjoy making stuff. But that's about it. Playing it, I don't think it's that great for it. But yeah, I think if you're insanely good at Mario games, then yeah, it's going to be fine. But it's just so many levels that are just bullshit difficult, or just piss easy, or just not even playable. It's just a massive shame. Super Mario Odyssey. I don't know what I can say with this game that hasn't already been said. It's a great 3D Mario. It's the best 3D Mario. Probably the best Mario platform of all. There's just so much content. They do a bunch of new stuff in this as well. It stands out. The controls are just fantastic. There's so much to do. Like I sunk like nearly 100 hours, probably more, into this game, and I can't understand it. I've done multiple saves for it. It's just a great game. So good, so packed with content. The capture gimmick's awesome. I feel they could do more of it, but what they do is very cool. There's so much shit you can do to break the game. Speedrunning for this game is crazy. It's just such a good game. It's such a good game. I would have loved an Odyssey 2. I think the time for that's passed, especially with it seeming like another, the next Nintendo console's coming soon. And with it, I assume we get the next Mario game. And just aligning with that, it's also like Mario Kart just suddenly stopped making content at the end of last year. and I feel they're moving on to the next game, which certainly won't be on the regular Switch. It's quite an interesting time. Next is Super Mario RPG, and I've genuinely played like 10 minutes of it last night. I only just started it, but the intro was very unique. I immediately started Bowser's Castle. Straight away I noticed they were characterizing Bowser more, because the RPG games, it's not exclusive to this one. This is the first one, but RPG games after, you can get a lot more characterization for characters, and they're not really bound to follow a formula or a pattern or anything. They can do unique stuff. There's original characters in this game that don't show up after this. It's very unique. It's very interesting. I haven't played any other RPG games, but I certainly want to try this one out. And I already like it so far. I'm excited to get back into it. I unfortunately can't comment much on that much because I haven't played much of it. But from what I've seen, it seems like a very good game. And from what little I played, it seems well paced. It seems like a fast RPG. So yeah, I am looking forward to continuing to play it. Because I'm not much of an RPG guy. I only just started playing Pokemon, and now I'm branching out to Mario RPGs. And I hope they start to do more. I hope they do more Mario RPGs. I think this could lead into a proper revival of that side of thing. I notice, like, Paper Mario still gets stuff on Switch, but I'm not interested in getting that. A more typical Mario RPG I'd be cool with, because seeing this game, I'm sold on it now, even though I wasn't really paying attention to it before. I certainly am now. Next is Super Nintendo Entertainment System, SNES. This is the best of the three. It has the best sorts of games, and it has Yoshi's Island, the original, which hasn't aged a bit. A fantastic game. Easily the highlight of this collection. I really like it, and that's the reason I play this, for Yoshi's Island. From that alone, that makes me happy to have this collection. I think Yoshi's Island is just such a great game. And I'm glad to be able to get to play the original. So yeah, that's about it. I just really like Yoshi's Island. That's all. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is a game that I was hesitant on getting. I've been rather critical on it. It looks kind of annoying. The DLC is absurd. But I was playing it with my girlfriend years back before I got it, and I was like, okay, I like it. I like it. So now you've already going to try it out. I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I got it, and I did like it. I got 35 hours out of it. I unlocked every character, and then I kind of stopped. And it's just there's not much incentive to learn the game, because I think the online is garbage. Again, this is a Nintendo game with terrible online. Not in terms of connection or anything, I think that's mostly fine. But in terms of how they handled it, there's a terrible filter system which just makes queue times take forever. It takes so long. I don't know if the player base is dead or what, but it's Smash Bros. It surely can't be. It just takes so long to find anyone unless you have no filter on, which means you get really annoying stuff like the items, which are just impossible to deal with. They aren't like wacky OP fun. They're just, I don't know what's going on, and that's not fun because you can't react to any of it. It's just chaos. If you're playing with friends, you're just fucking around, and yeah, sure. I think fighting games are quite overrated as a game to play with friends though, because I think you either need to both be knowledgeable of the game and have a similar level of skill, or you need to both know nothing for both people to get enjoyment out of it. Typically, that's how it is, right? I know a decent bit. Like, I main Morton, and I learn a few stuff. It's just quite a sort of get into game, and I put the hours in, but I didn't find myself properly learning much. Platform fights are just very bizarre to me. They're very bizarre. I find them hard to play than, say, Mortal Kombat, which maybe I Just need to give it more time. But yeah, I like it. I do like it. But it has a bunch of annoying stuff, which is why I held off on getting it for so long. And then I got it. And, that stuff became highlight to me. But also, a lot of cool stuff is highlight. Like, the roster's great. I don't know most of the characters there, or I don't care about them. But there's just a good assortment of characters. And that's, of course, its main appeal. Trying out these different characters, fucking around. They've all got quirky abilities and stuff. It's cool. Of course, the DLC, the only DLC I got was the sand costume. Because, again, I had gold coins lying around. Meme purchase. I should not have done it. But it's very funny. It's very funny. I wanted Piranha Plant, but, because I haven't truly got into the game, apparently it's really hard to play. I have not purchased any DLC, and I don't think I will. But, yeah, I like it. It's just... fighting is not my go-to for party games, and simultaneously, I don't think this is suitable for a game to get into and fully learn. I think the side content is borderline non-existent, and I think it's just an issue with fighting games as a whole now. Border Light is garbage. It's what Invasions is, except without any rewards that mean anything. You don't even get skins or anything like that. It's a nothing burger mode, and then you also have the equivalent of like an arcade ladder, which is more annoying than anything because it does feature stuff I don't like the weapons and stuff, the items, and the weird stages that have interactables, but not in a fun way, in a very annoying way. The stages that move are just unbearable. But yeah, I just think a lot of this stuff isn't for me. I think at its core, I don't mind it. I can have fun with it, and I was having fun with it. And I've given it time. I'll probably return to it, and I'll probably like it a bit more. Maybe I'll get into it again. But I haven't touched in a while since I unlocked every character, which was a fun grind. I'll give it that. I like grinding out. And there's plenty of characters still for me to check out, but at the same time, I barely mastered my main. I don't think I'm gonna learn the whole roster. So yeah, it's a game that I think is all right overall. I don't hate it anymore, but there's still a bunch of elements of the game that I hate, and that's what overall brings down the experience for me. It's what prevents me from truly enjoying it as much as I could. But yeah, it's still decent. Terraria. I've bought this game like 4 or 5 different times. It's a great game. It's got great progression. It's Minecraft, but if there was actual stuff to do in it, and 2D obviously. But it's such a fucking magical game. I love Terraria. This game, I'm in like hard mode on this version. About the point I got to on my Xbox One save, when I get near Plantera, I think I have the mechanical bosses, to be honest. And I've been doing expert mode playthroughs, because that's still new to me. Expert mode is still kind of new to me, which is kind of wild. Because I bought the game twice since that's been around. Because I had the Xbox 360 version, I had the mobile version. Both had a bunch of issues, like the amount of worlds I lost that game, because it just wouldn't save your worlds and stuff, is insane. I don't know how I put up with it, because it would always happen. Fortunately, the main world I have, after so many deletions, is still around. Whenever I go to my Xbox 360, see if I can reminisce on that. There's a Duke Fish run that was added to the 360 save. That's the final update. I still have never fought him. I've only ever got past like Gollum. That's kind of it. Whatever the endgame in 360 was, that's as far as I've gone. Since like next gen stuff, I've only gone to like hard mode, and I haven't gone further. Much further at least. Because expert mode's hard, but I do want to play that new experience, and you get a bunch of unique goodies. There's an even harder mode, which I am not trying anytime soon. I always sunk a lot of hours into this version, and then got considered that I've played 3 other versions of the game over the years. It's a great game. It still gets updates. Some changes I think are unnecessary. I'm not going to get into what, because there's just too much to talk about. But it is just a great game. It's worth buying on everything. And I think Minecraft is sort of similar, although although in Minecraft, you want like the Switch port, just get Pocket Edition, because the mobile version of Minecraft probably runs better on your phone than on a Switch. And like they updated the mobile version so well that is up to the level of any other version, which is very impressive. So that's why I don't have Minecraft on the Switch, if you were wondering. So The Escape is Complete Edition. I played the first game before. I played it on Xbox One, I think, and I also got the sequel. I got the sequel around when it came out. I didn't get far in either, because they're quite tricky games to figure out how to escape stuff. I've got into, I think, the 4th prison out of the main 6, and then this game just has so much extra bonus prisons. I think it's like another 10 or whatever. There is a lot. There's a lot. It's always something I'll go back to. It's a good game. It can get annoying. It can get very annoying. But it's challenging. It is, to say the least. So yeah, good game. Get on sale. You can get a second game on sale, but it's without the DLC. The version with the DLC still costs a good amount, and I'm just not willing to spend that much. Especially when I've got so much to do in the first game as is. Next, the Zelda games. The only 2 Zelda games I've played. Breath of the Wild. I enjoy Breath of the Wild for most of the time playing, but the ending is probably the most unsatisfying ending I've had in any video game. It doesn't end. It doesn't actually end. There is no point in fighting Ganon. You earn nothing from doing it, and your whole quest is worthless. I think Breath of the Wild also just didn't have engaging side content. I wasn't interested in the side quests, anything like that. I didn't quite appreciate the runes and stuff. I can't remember what they're called, but stuff like the time bombs or the stasis ability or magnesis. They were all kind of tricky to work with and call a skill issue, but I just found them quite clunky mechanics that were very situational, and they just didn't make for fun puzzles with the shrines, which were the main side content, and they were just annoying. I need a guide for most of them. You can call it a skill issue. I don't know if it is, but it just dragged on. It was annoying, and then after this very long journey, you get to beat Ganon, and it's nothing. It's a nothing burger entry. And apparently there's like a true ending which just adds a cutscene, so I'm not working towards that. I went back to it when I was waiting for Tears Kingdom, and I got my Master Sword, and I think that's the last thing I did. Probably not revisiting this one. I think Tears of the Kingdom invalidates its existence, which doesn't bother me, because Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, is a masterpiece. This is the one that deserves its praise. Breath of the Wild, I think, was quite overrated. It's a fine open world game, but nothing special in my opinion. Tears of the Kingdom is brilliant. It gets rid of all the bullshit in Breath of the Wild and building off of what the good stuff of that game for me. They took out they made the abilities good, just the fuse stuff, and Magnesis just became a thing where you can pick up anything you want. You can build a bunch of shit. There's just really cool stuff. There's rewinds and ability. This is where I really started to appreciate the abilities. And this was a game that I was worried about first because I had so many issues with Breath of the Wild that I was like, I'm probably not going to get this game. Because I think it's just going to do so much like Breath of the Wild. Because Breath of the Wild did so well that they're going to play it safe. And they didn't. They changed so much. And it's so good. I haven't completed it yet. I play more than Breath of the Wild though, and that's because I've been doing this side content. Because side content is engaging. The shrines are fun because they have fun mechanics for the puzzles instead of tedious shit. The side quests I actually interested in, although I wasn't really paying attention to side quests in Breath of the Wild, so I don't know if it's a matter of Tears of the Kingdom having better side quests or just a matter of Tears of the Kingdom being the more enjoyable game, and thus I want to do the side quests. But there's just so much to do in this one. And I feel like I'm truly fully appreciating this one, unlike Breath of the Wild. Maybe if I replay Breath of the Wild, I would appreciate it more. I think I even tried it. I did do a new save on a separate profile, but it still wasn't really clicking with me. But not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom clicked with me straight away. I got it like a month after it came out, and it's just a very good game. And there's still so much for me to do. So when I pick it up again, I just finished beating the final Divine Beast. Not Divine Beast. What I can't remember what it's called. The game's been going in terms of terms, but the equivalent of Divine Beast in this game, the temples, which are much better and much more varied. The puzzles can still be a bit annoying and a bit tedious, but it's nowhere near as bad as Breath of the Wild for me. I really like it. Skylines are great, and they didn't even market this. There's a whole depths area which isn't as engaging, but like it's a whole underground area, a whole separate map that's bigger than the Sky Islands, and they just never marketed it. I think the marketing was quite bad because it didn't really highlight the full extent of the abilities, but also it didn't really show off the true changes. All they really did was go, "There's Sky Islands now." That was all they were kind of doing, and I'm like, okay. Now, that doesn't address any of my issues, but sure. But no, I was very impressed. I think that's the third trailer that was like, okay, no, this game's cool. So I'm glad I did give it a chance. I think it's a must-have. Even if you didn't play Breath of the Wild, I just get this anyway. It's just Breath of the Wild but better. The story's similar enough that I think you can follow without having to play the previous entry. Because I don't think it matters too much. I assume the ending to this is the same. I've actually been avoiding spoilers because that's how much I'm into this. I normally don't care about spoilers, but I assume the ending when you beat Ganon is the same as Breath of the Wild, where it doesn't actually end. But this time I'm aware. This time that's what I'm assuming, so it probably will bother me less. But I still don't really like endings like that personally. But it is what it is. The Rains Down plays. I got this for £1, and for a purchase you're guaranteed to get a coin. So I got it for free, pretty much. It's a charming little game. It's got a cute little story. I didn't finish. I got stuck in an area, but I got like 5 hours ish in, and it's nothing crazy, but it's pretty cool. I look out for it on sale because I think it's quite a charming little game where you plays these 2 characters and you're running a theatre, and you go around and it's a bunch of funny little characters. It's just a fun little game. I definitely got £1 worth out of it. So yeah, Urban Flow. This is another indie game that's been around, and a lot of YouTubers have covered it. And I was like, okay, this is a clever puzzle game. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of options. I've played a couple hours of it. And that's about it. It goes on big sales again. I think I got this for less than £1 as well. And so again, I got my money's worth. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't anything crazy, but for the price I got it at, that's not what I was expecting. I think if you like puzzle games like this, then this is probably one of your best options. So yeah. Next is Wrestling Empire. What a great game. I have sunk nearly 900 hours into this game. And the only reason I've sunk in more recently is because I've been fucking around with other wrestling games like Fight Forever. It's such a good game. It is so good. The customization, the fact it has a career mode that has free roam, which isn't even anything I'm interested in. I'm interested in just doing exhibition and making up my own matches. There's even a bucking mode to do that, which I haven't done much with, but that's all great. I used to play that mode all the time in Wrestling Revolution 2D. But yeah, this is just a very great game. A lot of fun. Still gets updates. I feel I've done many videos on it. There's some changes in the game that I haven't liked, but they've kind of been altered, so I don't really have any issues with the game at this point. It's just very good. It's just very good. I know a lot of people play it just to do goofy shit with it, but like, if you want a genuine wrestling game experience with a lot of freedom, then this is a good shout. It's very good. I think that's probably, like I say, there's so much for me to get into rambling, I think there's just a lot of content for a wrestling game. I think the gameplay is good. It probably isn't for everyone. Again, this is why a lot of people don't take it seriously, because I think they find the MDK engine to be kind of just a goofy one. But I do genuinely like it. I think it's cool animations and stuff. There's really cool matches you can do. For simulation purposes, it is as good as you're getting genuinely, because there is true freedom. And there's like a good option for like doing simulation stuff, because you can like swap your character. You can fucking restart a match, you get pinned, just retcon it, ignore it. You get those options. You can like force interference and stuff. And then you have a good amount of match types and a good amount of match customization. The Royal Rumble's not their best in this, because there's no limits on how many can be in the ring at once, and it's genuinely hard to eliminate people. So you can have wrestlers go on like genuine like Iron Man runs, and you can have like a 30-person battle royal. You can have 60-person Royal Rumbles. The limit used to be 50 in the 2D games, but it has to be 30 in the 3D ones, which makes sense. That's still plenty. But actually, you can get more than that, because you can actually have surprise participants, which doubles the amount. So you can have 60, which I guess if you can try and keep as many people in the ring as possible, then it's fine. Although you can change the rules to just have it not be elimination. You can just have no win condition, and then wait an hour for everyone to get in the match, and you have 60. So if you want to break the game, that's what you can do. You can just do very goofy stuff, but at the same time you can like take it seriously and whatnot. So there's true freedom now. It's a good one. 2K Battlegrounds. The last 2K game I played 19, and then this was on Switch. I was like, okay, it seems fun. It's cheap. I'll get it. And you know, I got a good amount of it. I got like 90 hours out of it. People say there's nothing to do in this game. Like 35 quid for that amount of playtime. I don't know. I think it's pretty decent. The only wrestling I really played online, and had a decent system. The only problem was it was already kind of dead by the time I got it. And that's only like 2 months after release. But it's fun. Like it's pretty basic in terms of stuff there is, but there's a lot of interactable stuff. Obviously, it's a goofy game. It's not one to take seriously. It's not one you could do simulation stuff with. The roster is way more stacked than it needed to be. It got like free updates to the roster and shit, which is kind of cool. Even though I was creating an arena, which it also didn't need, but sure, go off, go wild. But it had like a battle royale thing, and this was really cool because you would just join, and you can only have 4 in the ring at a time, but you'd wait on the outside. When someone gets eliminated, you get put in. And you know, I built so many points and stuff. There was a leaderboard system. I think I was in like the top 10 at one point. That was a very enjoyable mode. Its only shortcoming was there wasn't enough people playing it, and you had sweats, and you had people just abusing strats. But genuinely, that is the greatest wrestling game experience I've had online. Because I don't think wrestling games are that good online. But that King of the Battleground mode was so good. So good. There was a Queen of the Battleground, which further divided the player base because they didn't have an intergender match option, which was unnecessary. And you had tournaments where you could do one-on-one stuff, which that was good. You know, I liked the steel cage match because I don't know why, but you have to grab money, and once you get enough, you can escape. And the cage is electrified for some reason. It's genuinely a solid game at what it's trying to be. I think it's overhated. It's nothing crazy, of course not, but I think it's fine. Next says Yes, Your Grace, and this is a game that's fresh in my mind because I just completed it yesterday, and it's made by the same people made Not Tonight, or it's published by the same people, might have different devs. I don't know how it works, but this game is so good. It's so good. I completed it in about 3 days. It took me about 3 days start to finish. Overall, like that was 5 hours playtime, a bit over it. Normally, it probably would take me longer, but the narrative is going to keeps you wanting to play. It makes you want to not save and quit. It makes you want to see what happens on the next week. So what it is you know, it's a fictional setting, but like it's based on, you know, medieval times, and you play as a king, and you go for like a year a year of his reign. And it's very story focused, and I have a lot of that story. It's a very good one. Um, but my main issue is there's just it wasn't more of it. There's still plenty of content for the price I got. I got like £2 ish because it goes on a good sale. So wait for that sale to get it. And yeah, it was just a very good experience. And it is sort of replayable because you manage your kingdom and stuff, and your choices do matter. Although the times I replayed it were to change events and stuff that turns out you couldn't change, which was quite disappointing. But it took me a few runs to actually play it. You can backtrack, which not tonight's the same, where you can go back to a previous week and change your course of actions to not die or whatever. Because you've got to like keep up with like gold and supplies and the kingdom's happiness and your army. It's stuff like that. You got to manage it all. And you have all these interactions. I got this game because again I saw YouTubers playing it. I didn't see much of it, but I was like, oh, this is one of those games where you like have a kingdom and then you have multiple choices to manage your needs. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be funny. I can fuck people over. But I was like, okay, I'm into this. I'm actually gonna take it seriously. And then like I got too into it. The story's very good. I think I got technically the best ending, which I'm not getting any story stuff, even though it's fresh in my mind. I have a lot to say on it, but I don't want to because I recommend this game, and if I talk too much about the story, then I think that takes away a lot from the experience. Because it's very good. It's a very good story, but and like how your choices actually change stuff. It's very clever. Again, when I replay stuff was to change the fate of one character, which I'm not going to specify, but you'll probably figure it out if you play it. Where for narrative reasons, which is understandable but still a shame, you can't really change anything that happens to them. Which was a shame because that's the main thing I wanted to sort out. Because I thought that was the one thing I was missing from a perfect ending, and both times I tried changing stuff, I found out I couldn't, and it was kind of forced for the sake of the overall narrative, which understandable, but that was a shame. And yeah, that's kind of about it. 5 points. Just like a very, very good game. I know I don't even count medieval settings. I think they can be interesting. They're not trying to be misogynistic as fuck, and this game isn't doing that. It's a part of like its commentary, but it's not. But it handles it with care basically, and it's not like a main focus on it. And it's getting a sequel. I found out yesterday it's getting a sequel, and there's news on for this year. I don't know if that means a release. I might have been in beta for a while, but I'll be getting that sequel because this game was really fucking good, and it surprised me. It surprised me because I came to fuck over a kingdom, and I stayed for the narrative because it was very good, very, very good. I might replay it. I might replay it and just fuck people over, see what bad shit can happen, because I kind of just happened to get the perfect ending. So my first ending was I got overthrown by peasants for not managing my stuff well enough. Technically, my second run, you have like an intro thing that alludes to what happens at the end of the game, this final battle, and you can just raise a white flag, and that gives you an automatic game over. So that was technically my second run, and then my third one, I actually did it, and I got a near perfect ending. I was missing one thing, but it doesn't particularly matter. But other than that, I got a perfect ending, which surprised me. You can get a more perfect ending if you manage your resources even better, and then you can get a support of everyone in your kingdom. But yeah, I don't want to delve too deep into that because of spoiler reasons. But there's a decent amount of depth to the game, and there is a bit of replay value. But I can see how once you get an end credits ending, not much can really change that is worth replaying, I feel. But yeah, it's still a great game. Next Yooshi's Crafted World, I've talked about this before. I played most of this in 2-player with my mum, and it's a great 2-player experience. I think overall it's a just fine platformer, and I think I like it more than I do because I played it in multiplayer. Because it was just chaotic, it was ridiculous, you could eat each other. But it's a very charming theme. You know, I love the Yoshi games, I love Yoshi's moveset. Good game, and I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all. Those are all my games. You got games on your phone. I've got plenty on my Switch. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.